I'm the one that they ask about. Money team better come with your racks out. Stadium packed out, crowd going crazy. Queen of this here, I ain't leaving my chair. Money green high heels, I make them shiver. Post up, post off, and I deliver. I'm gold, you glitter, they old and bitter. I'ma fight for it. Take it to the next level, ride like a bike pedal. Hotter than a kettle on fire. Stand back and admire. Winning this game and I'm taking the empire. Time to start the show, ready now, fire. Revolution, I'm here with the solution. Top contender, I'm the one they keep choosing. If it ain't me, I'ma need you to tell me who then. Fiction time, kick 'em out and I'm moving. Who want it? You want it, let's get it. Come with the ambush, now they saying forget it. Start at the beginning, you'll be done in like a minute. I don't have no limit, all I know is winning. To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you. I've been here before, I have felt this. This eternal war, I was dealt this. A true rebel in arms, I put pebble to palm and dig deep. I'm the heartbeat for the helpless. Delve deeper, the grim reaper, the phlegm leaker, limb breacher, keeping the fire aiming at them people. And I ain't about to worry about a nemesis. Better risk it all. I don't start, but I finish this. Go to battle with adversaries, have them carried away when they waving that flag. I take it to the max and go round after round, round up the pound. Soon as I get done with that, light another match. Set a blaze to the maze full of competitors. My instincts are in sync, my only weapon, bruh. And I ain't backing down, I ain't giving up. They wanna tear it down, I'ma build it up. Up in the clouds is where I wanna land. Survival of the fittest, I ain't running, man. That's the sound of the victory. After it's all done, you'll remember me. I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
Trying to go in for the infiltration, and really it's AKO that's going to be having a very hard time. Auto knockout seems to be like, one is knocked out! Makarari in again with a god name!
Having one player alone try to survive all the way into the final zone is going to be absolutely impossible. Beautiful knock onto Ren, and once again Cobra will be able to strike with a well-placed nade, and now trying to take the glue wall down. They should be able to get there in time for the wipeout. Ajin goes down, Cobra manages to eliminate
as Rosso holds the fort and prevents everyone from outside to come into the zone, to the compound. Everybody is best to bring his teammates back out. Decos will go in for the disruption. The glue wall is going to buy a bit of time, but it's going to hurt so much for the blue zone and RNG's today.
Crazy, it seems like it's opposite day right now.
Oh, absolutely! These are the eyes you have to keep! These are the teams you have to watch! MCP Majors Season 2! That fire has been lit in those little bellies! Yeah, boy! You shake that off! You do that strut, Jumbo! You deserve it! Not much compound to work with. He is still going to be stuck there. Hopefully, for this. Oh, the nade coming right back to Taken. He doesn't get taken out by it. Thankfully, jumps away in the nick of time. Goes in for the backstab, but unfortunately does not go in for a takedown. Tosses out a nade. Still alive. Pulls out a glue wall and heals himself right back up. But Bloody Heads, they definitely are going in here for the Juggernaut victory. And they should be able to find Goku. Yet another kill for Bloody Heads to pick up. A nade after nade getting popped in through and Goku eliminated. Wow, but it is taken out of nowhere. That steals the kill. Auto knockout. Dirty, dirty Playboys.
Triple kill. Shut down. Latte kill. Latte kill.
the one that they ask about. Money team better come with your racks out. Stadium packed out, crowd going crazy. Queen of this here, I ain't leaving my chair. Money green high heels, I make them shiver. Post up, post off, and I deliver. I'm gold, you glitter, they old and bitter. I'ma fight for it. Take it to the next level, ride like a bike pedal, hotter than a kettle on fire. Stand back and admire. Winning this game and I'm taking the empire. Time to start the show, ready now, fire. Revolution, I'm here with the solution. Top contender, I'm the one they keep choosing. If it ain't me, I'ma need you to tell me who then. Fiction time, kick 'em out and I'm a moving. Who want it? You want it, let's get it. Come with the ambush, now they saying forget it. Start at the beginning, you'll be done in like a minute. I don't have no limit, all I know is winning.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you. I've been here before, I have felt this. This eternal war, I was dealt this. A true rebel in arms, I put pebble to palm and dig deep. I'm the heartbeat for the helpless. Delve deeper, the grim reaper, the phlegm leaker, limb breacher, keeping the fire aiming at them people. And I ain't about to worry about a nemesis. Better risk it all. I don't start, but I finish this. Go to battle with adversaries, have them carried away when they waving that flag. I take it to the max and go round after round, round up the pound. Soon as I get done with that, light another match. Set a blaze to the maze full of competitors. My instincts are in sync, my only weapon, bruh. And I ain't backing down, I ain't giving up. They wanna tear it down, I'ma build it up. Up in the clouds is where I wanna land. Survival of the fittest, I ain't running, man. That's the sound of the victory. After it's all done, you'll remember me.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
Here we go, trying to go in for the infiltration, and really it's AKO that's going to be having a very hard time. Auto knockout seems to be like, one is knocked out! McRory in again with the god name!
Having one player alone try to survive all the way into the final zones is going to be absolutely impossible. Beautiful knock onto Ren, and once again Cobra will be able to strike with a well-placed nade, and now trying to take the glue wall down. They should be able to get there in time for the wipeout. Ajin goes down, Cobra manages to eliminate.
As Rosso holds the fort and prevents everyone from outside to come into the zone, to the compound. Everybody is best to bring his teammates back out. Decoys will go in for the disruption. The glue wall is going to buy a bit of time, but it's going to hurt so much for the blue zone and RNG's today.
Crazy, it seems like it's opposite day right now.
Oh, absolutely! These are the eyes you have to keep! These are the teams you have to watch! MCP Majors Season 2! That fire has been lit in those little bellies! Yeah, boy! You shake that off! You do that strut jumbo! You deserve it! Not much compound to work with. He is still going to be stuck there. Hopefully, for this. Oh, the nade coming right back to Taken. He doesn't get taken out by it. Thankfully, jumps away in the nick of time. Goes in for the backstab, but unfortunately does not go in for a takedown. Tosses out a nade. Still alive. Pulls out a glue wall and heals himself right back up. But Bloody Heads, they definitely are going in here for the Juggernaut victory, and they should be able to find Goku. Yet another kill for Bloody Heads to pick up. A nade after nade getting popped in through, and Goku eliminated. Wow, but it is taken out of nowhere. That steals the kill. Auto knockout. Dirty, dirty Playboys.
Triple kill. Shut down. Quadruple kill. Quadruple kill.
I'm the one that they ask about. Money team better come with your racks out. Stadium packed out, crowd going crazy. Queen of this hair, I ain't leaving my chair. Money green high heels, I make them shiver. Post up, post off, and I deliver. I'm gold, you glitter, they old and bitter. I'ma fight for it. Take it to the next level, ride like a bike pedal. Hotter than a kettle on fire. Stand back and admire. Winning this game and I'm taking the empire. Time to start the show, ready now, fire. Revolution, I'm here with the solution. Top contender, I'm the one they keep choosing. If it ain't me, I'ma need you to tell me who then. Fiction time, kick 'em out and I'm moving. Who want it? You want it, let's get it. Come with the ambush, now they saying forget it. Start at the beginning, you'll be done in like a minute. I don't have no limit, all I know is winning.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you. I've been here before, I have felt this. This eternal war, I was dealt this. A true rebel in arms, I put pebble to palm and dig deep. I'm the heartbeat for the helpless. Delve deeper, the grim reaper, the phlegm leaker, limb breacher, keeping the fire aiming at them people. And I ain't about to worry about a nemesis. Better risk it at all. I don't start, but I finish this. Go to battle with adversaries, have them carried away when they waving that flag. I take it to the max and go round after round, round up the pound. Soon as I get done with that, light another match. Set a blaze to the maze full of competitors. My instincts are in sync, my only weapon, bruh. And I ain't backing down, I ain't giving up. They wanna tear it down, I'ma build it up. Up in the clouds is where I wanna land. Survival of the fittest, I ain't running, man. That's the sound of the victory. After it's all done, you'll remember me.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
Here we go, trying to go in for the infiltration, and really it's AKO that's going to be having a very hard time. Auto knockout seems to be like, one is knocked down, McRory in again with a god name.
Having one player alone try to survive all the way into the final zones is going to be absolutely impossible. Beautiful knock onto Ren, and once again Cobra will be able to strike with a well-placed nade. And now trying to take the glue wall down, they should be able to get there in time for the wipeout. Ajin goes down, Cobra manages to eliminate.
As Rosso holds the fort and prevents everyone from outside to come into the zone, to the compound. Alright, it's best to bring his teammates back out. Decoys will go in for the disruption. The glue wall is going to buy a bit of time, but it's going to hurt so much for the blue zone in RNG's play.
Crazy, it seems like it's opposite day right now.
Oh, absolutely! These are the eyes you have to keep! These are the teams you have to watch! MCP Majors Season 2! That fire has been lit in those little bellies! Yeah, boy! You shake that off! You do that strut jumbo! You deserve it! not much compound to work with. He is still going to be stuck there. Hopefully, for this. Oh, the nade coming right back to Taken. He doesn't get taken out by it. Thankfully, jumps away in the nick of time. Goes in for the backstab, but unfortunately does not go in for a takedown. Tosses out a nade. Still alive. Pulls out a glue wall and heals himself right back up. But Bloody Heads, they definitely are going in here for the Juggernaut victory. And they should be able to find Goku. Yet another kill for Bloody Heads to pick up. A nade after nade getting popped in through and Goku eliminated. Wow, but it is taken out of nowhere. That steals the kill. Auto knockout. Dirty, dirty Playboys.
Triple kill. Shut down. Quadruple kill.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the MCP Majors Season 2. Today is a very important day for not just us but for you guys as well, because we are currently on day 6, the final day for the group stage here at the MCP Majors. Now Icy Baby is going to be joining me, as he did also join me for yesterday's matches, and I have to say, Icy, today is D-Day. If you can't do it today, then you're basically out.
You know, I definitely agree. It is definitely going to be a D-Day for some of these teams as well, and especially a very important one as for two particular teams here. We've been raving on for the past few weeks here. SAF versus PXG Radicals, the fight for the #1 spot. This final 6 games, or in this case 4 games for each team, is going to be the most important ones for them. You know, who's going to be the new king for the MCP Majors League stages.
And also at the bottom, we also need to take a look at these teams that are trying to gun for that 12th position. Now, I do believe the only team that realistically could make it through is Freedom Rumble. But even then, it's going to be a bit of a tough ask because they're essentially running on 4 games. And if they can't pull it out through these next 4 games, then that's it. We've got our top 12 teams for the final stage.
Yep, mathematically, it is still very possible for the teams here. So, you know, for these guys watching home, be sure to stick around to watch to find out whether or not they pull the Miracle Run. I still believe in dreams, man. Like, sometimes with a little bit of hope, with a little bit of perseverance, with a little bit of, I don't know, a little bit of faith, things might be a little bit different for some of these teams, especially for Freedom Rumble fans coming from us as casters and the community as well. We've been talking about them for so long actually, and for them to actually drop down in 30th place, hopefully this final 4 games they will be able to pull it off, Danny.
Yeah, they could be, you know, but we all went to school, right? And you have that one kid that just for some reason pulls out an all-nighter for that one assignment that's due after a whole month, and then they end up still getting an A. That could be Freedom Rumble. They could be a team that's driven on adrenaline. I mean, who knows? We don't know.
I'm literally ashamed of myself, Danny, because I'm literally that one kid that pulls an all-nighter right before the exam. And, you know, I didn't get an A, but I still managed to pass.
I was going to say, you don't look like the kind of type to get A's after all-nighter.
No, dude, come on,
Moving
man.
on.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on, for those of you who likes to do some math here, here's some math calculation for you guys for the teams that's going to be competing the prize pool distribution for the league stages. Like we said as well, Champion is going to be a huge contestant here. First place is going to be walking away with $2,000 US. The first runner-up, 1,800. Third place, 1,600. Fourth place, 1,400. And it hits all the way down towards 6, 7, 8, and 9, where 7 and 8 and 9, they will be sharing $800 US.
Yeah, and then we do still have money going out to the teams towards the bottom end of the bracket. Even teams that are going to be coming in last, they still get some prize money. But of course, you're going to want to be aiming for at least that $600 prize pool, because that's the top 12. Because if you can make it to the top 12, then this is going to be the next stage that these teams are going to be competing for. And they only have 1 day of play to compete for that first place prize, which is $15,000.
Yeah, no, I must say, you know, now that you mentioned that about towards the final stage here, everyone is guaranteed a minimum $400 when they make it. But of course, the lucrative first place here, $15,000 is going to be the eyes for the prize. And currently, based on our league stages performance, SAF as well as PXG Radicals seems to be the team that is potentially going to be gunning for the prize pool. But anything can happen, you know. It's all super unpredictable at this stage, you know. It's all about perseverance, it's all about experimenting, or it's all about refining your tactics. And I must say, you know, this is going to be D-Day for actually everybody, you know. The top 12 making it as well, maybe even the top contenders who are still experimenting on their strategy here.
I mean, we always talk about the whole teams experimenting during the group stage, which is always a possibility, but we don't have that concrete knowledge of whether these teams are experimenting. But something that we do know is the point system that we've been running with for the entirety of the league, and this is likely going to be the same system we'll use for the final stage. So for people that aren't quite aware, if you get first place in the match and you get that booyah, you get 12 points. Now, as you go down, you're also going to be getting less and less points, but of course, you want to be avoiding that 11th and 12th place because you get absolutely nothing for finishing bottom 2. But there have been situations where you can compensate, even if you finish down below 11th and 12th, you can still make it up with the kill point system, which is a kill equals a point.
However, continuing into the stage here, today's final 6 matches for today is going to be both playing in Kalahari as well as Purgatory here. Every single team will be playing a total of 4 matches, 2 in Kalahari and 2 in Purgatory. To start things off, we are going to be starting with Group A versus B, and then we will follow up with Group B versus C, and then ending things off with Group A going up against Group C. And I must say, you know, the final 2 matches is going to be something that I'm looking forward to as well. This is going to be a rough game, you know, especially for both the PXG Radicals and SAF. You know, we know for the fact that, hey, for the top 4 match, SAF, they are going to be playing all their minds out, and then, you know, hey, they have a huge lead, potentially, you know, and then PXG Radicals comes in with a reverse double booyahs, potentially. I don't know, like yesterday, having triple booyahs seems to be pretty impressive for me, in at least here, Danielle.
Absolutely. Now, before we jump into the matches, we're going to take a look at the overall standings again very quickly. So as we know, at the very top, we have SAF competing against PXG Radicals. PXG, they're going to try and dethrone SAF today, which is a possibility considering that they're coming in after a very strong performance yesterday. So SAF, they could be threatened from that first place. But let's be honest, this is not as important as what's happening towards the lower end of the bracket, which is that 12th spot. Even 10th and 11th are also under threat from Freedom Rumble because they're all sitting at roughly a similar point score, which is like 3-4-4 or 3-4-1. So what has to happen here for Freedom Rumble is not only do they have to get at least that 30 points, those 30 points are simply offsetting that gap between them and these teams that are blocking that top 12. Then they have to get additional points on top of that. Now that is a very tough ask because you are essentially saying do easy, bloody head, or we'll just have to bomb out today, or Freedom Rumble have to have an amazing play day, which I'm going to be completely honest, we haven't ever seen Freedom Rumble have an amazing play day since the first couple weeks.
Well, based on this stats here, you can see that Bloody Head has not gained themselves a booyah yet into the top 12. So there is a possibility that maybe banging on this inconsistency, or in this case, consistency of not getting booyahs, maybe, you know, Freedom Rumble could make the miracle play. You know, all they gotta do is just mathematically get 2 booyahs and hopefully Views and Bloody Head, like you said, bomb out like what happened in yesterday's games, which is kind of unfortunate. So I don't know, that's something that I want to pay attention more. But of course, the Kings are going to be the ones that we should be watching out for. Currently, the teams to watch out for this day is going to be Freedom Rumble, Views, as well as Metrics. Yeah, okay, never. Yeah. Why did I bother? You know, these are the 3 teams fighting for the last spot, making those the leagues here.
Yeah, I think we did make a mention of Metrics yesterday, but they're basically in the same situation as Freedom Rumble. That they would have to have the dream run I think you were talking about this yesterday. They had to have the absolute dream run to potentially make it to top 12, which
don't jinx it,
again,
Danny. Don't jinx it.
I'm just saying, it's a very big ask for these teams to suddenly compete at a top level on the most important day of their lives.
Hey, sometimes people just work better under pressure. Who knows? That's why everybody's watching right now. We've got to see this to the end. Is Freedom Rumble gonna make it or not? Or will Views, remain the gatekeepers for the team? And like we said as well, the bottom three, out in this case, is gonna have a really rough time. Hopefully Views doesn't have a good game, then probably Freedom will make it.
Hopefully Views doesn't have a good game.
That's the thing, right? That's the thing about Views, right? Yesterday, the reason why I want to say this is that Views had a pretty decent start for the first 3 games that they played. In the final game yesterday, I had no idea what was going through their minds because they went all in and they just got completely shattered by Argon MY in that final jump, which is kind of weird considering that they could have just conceded that fight and just play a better placement instead of overextending themselves out in the open and get heavily punished out for no reason. Maybe they were just confident they could have already secured a spot, but based on the mathematical possibles, anything is possible. And I feel like those who are in the top 12, they gotta play a little bit safer. They gotta play consistent and still rack up some points to kind of pull away from the lead.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be up to the teams for their performance, but of course, one thing for you guys at home is that later on today, we're going to be announcing the code for our giveaway today. As you can see at the bottom, we've got the Winterlands gun box. We've got 2 of them as well, so make sure you come by the stream, stick around. We'll be releasing the code several times today, and then of course you can claim them. Just remember, these codes are not first come, first serve. You can share them with your friends and family because everyone that types in this code will be able to claim it, so make sure you stick around because we've got some plenty of free goodies to give away. I can't wait to see what we give away during the finals day. Like, you think on the finals day it's gonna be like the biggest goodie?
Yeah, they're giving away a brand new phone. I hope so. I hope so. No, I need a new phone. Not gonna.
Oh
maybe even I don't know, like some really good, cash prizes that you can probably be enough to get yourself a new phone.
Maybe.
I'm just hard selling here, hopefully we get a new phone. That's the third time I'm saying it. Okay, third time's the charm. That's it.
Okay, you know what? It's fine. I'm going to stop you right there because I do believe we're about ready to jump into our first match. It's on Kalahari. It's going to be Groups A versus B. So, of course, we have to pass it to our wonderful casters for today. It's going to be Hauler and Husky. Take it away, gentlemen.
Thank you, Daniely and ICBaby12. Yes, it's great to share the final day of the group stage with you, Hauler. And of course, my name is Husky. We're about to bring you guys the final 6 matches before we look at who is going to be the top 12 teams. Moving into the grand finals, 2 quick things I have to mention. First of all, I have not heard of any tournaments that give away cash prizes for their lucky draws. And second of all, Isaac Newton once said, gravity pulls things to the ground, and I think when he discovered that, he did not foresee that Freedom Rumble would fall from grace all the way from top 5 to 13th place. So today, I want to hear which one you're more excited about. Who is going to be the new kings, or who is going to make it to top 12?
I mean, it's just hard to pick out one guy, I think, at this point. I think that you're looking at about 6 teams that are fighting at the bottom right now for that 12th spot. There's a lot of teams that are in. Argon Malaysia had a monster day yesterday with 49 points. They moved 3 places into 9th place. But Do Easy, Bloody Head, Woos, all of these teams are within literally 6 points of each other. It's crazy right there. Then Freedom Rumble, as you mentioned, they did fall from grace. They have about 314 points. They have a bit of a height to basically climb in terms of this mountain that they have, because they have only 314 points. They need to get to 341 just to get ahead of Woos, who are in that final 12th position. Now, we did show metrics as part of the teams to watch for the top 3. We do need to be careful about them. Technically, they could get in, but they have to have a monster day. And the cool thing about all of this is the fact that all of these teams are going to be played in match 1 with Group A versus B. So we'll find out right away who really wants it, who's going to make it into the top 12.
Yeah, and looking at Freedom Rumble, I think they really want it because they're not just sharing the zone, or at least the drop zone, with Almighty. They also have Blacklist International near them. PSG Radicals on our screen. Barba just making a very long drop to join his team at confinement. They're still split apart, but Cobbs is gonna show his results because Batman is already out.
Already just starting it off. What a bad start. And don't get me wrong, Almighty's, I think, fine in the sense that they're in 6th position right now. They're not going to lose anything. But hey, they need to ensure that they're in the top 6. 789 gets paid out the same in terms of 800 USD. So you want to be in the top 6. You want to make sure that you have more money to go home with as you're going into the grand finals.
Yeah, and Freedom Rumble, they force Almighty out of their default drop zone, and Almighty now they make a run for it after losing Bruce Wayne, and they run straight into PSG Radicals. But thankfully for PSG Radicals, they still need some time to rejoin themselves, and as I say, that Insanity just goes for the wide swing and dry peaks Jay-Z. Ren is there to bring him up with the time turner, but the flashbangs are being lobbed in by the rest of PSG Radicals, and Almighty just out to a horrible start. Barbara's already gonna take out Shira, and both Jay-Z and Ren, they don't really have much to work with, as Shira will be taken out. Jay-Z is going to make his final stand, and that is not going to work out as well. Almighty just get completely obliterated in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Wow, man. And this is the other big storyline, right? PXG Radicals overcoming the impossible. There was a 100-point gap from SAF to PXG, and it's now down to 10 points. It's much less, especially with those 3 kills there, so it's about 7 points, doing the math very, very quickly. Now, PXG Radicals, this is a team that's been on point throughout the second half. They scored 65 points yesterday, and of course, with only 7 points to just become the new kings going into the grand finals of just taking over SAF, the impossible is starting to look very, very possible.
And it took them, the whole group stage, but all of the effort was worth it. Up to the very final day, PSG Radicals are the only team that, I wouldn't say did not give up, but they are the only team that really put in the grit and overcame all of the obstacles. Sure, you can say Fast QNY, Tactical Intex, AKO Legends. These guys also played an amazing league stage, but no team came close to PXG Radicals when it came down to the wire. And this is why now they are, like you said, 7 points away mathematically from Supreme Assault Forces.
I think the biggest worry for me is what exactly happened in terms of SAF. You know what I mean? They were the kings, and all of a sudden in the past 2 play days, they scored 22 points, and they had a disastrous 17 points yesterday. Okay, they have never scored that low, and they've gotten worse after, day after day after day. So this is becoming a worry, especially since you need a lot of confidence. You need that momentum going into the grand finals. I'm sure that they're thinking, hey, we'll be happy with top 3. It doesn't really matter at this point. Maybe they're looking to save strats, but I feel like you want to go into the grand finals with your best foot forward, and it doesn't look like SAF are really doing that.
Yeah, and that was exactly what I was thinking as well. I think looking at SAF, they had pretty moderate performances, I think, ever since the mid-league shuffle. And even then, we still gave them a lot of credit, right? Despite their underwhelming performances, sometimes they have a bad day, they still kept the lead between them and PSG Radicals to a minimum of at least 80 points. But that changed within one single day, and that was the second last day of the group stage. Now, even though they are going to qualify for grand finals regardless, I think getting knocked out of first place is still going to hurt their morale ever so slightly.
I wonder if it's those things where, we lost first place or whatever, and maybe this will turn up the whole anger level, right? And then you start to go a little bloodthirsty. Maybe you can just kind of help yourself get motivated for that grand finals, because sometimes when you're coasting too much, then you don't, you kind of take your foot off the gas, things get a little bit easy for you, and you're not really prepared going into the grand finals. Maybe they're setting themselves up for, hey, maybe we need to be a little more competitive. I'm trying to put a positive spin on this. Hopefully SAF will really show up in the grand finals, and especially today, because, hey, each single place that they could potentially drop, and yeah, they can get to second place, but that's 200 extra USD they should be getting. You could be buying a lot more skins. So obviously SAF need to kind of make sure that their foot is on the gas.
Yeah, definitely. And I think for SAF, the implications of them losing out first place is there, but it's definitely not as huge as, the teams who are fighting for the 12th spot, right? In Freedom Rumble, this is probably the biggest day. And the storyline of which team is going to end up being the kings, whether it's SAF or PSG Radicals, it is going to mean something in the grand scheme of things. But at the end of the day, these guys are still going to qualify anyway. So I guess for SAF, like you mentioned, perhaps they just need a push in the right direction, and that push is going to come from having losing that first spot to PSG Radicals.
Mm-hmm. All right, so for the record, I believe yesterday you called that PXG Radicals was going to overcome SAF. Are you sticking on that hill?
Yeah, I'm sticking to that.
Okay. All right. Now, in terms of the 12th position, all right, if we're going to look at Argon, Do Easy, Bloody Head, Woos, Freedom Rumble, and Metrics, I know that 6 different teams. Which 3 do you think will be dropping out?
3 teams.
Metrics probably the lowest. I think that that's the easiest one. But if you had to choose another 2, who do you think is kind of like? I don't think that they're as strong.
I feel like I think Wheels. I don't know. I still feel like Freedom Rumble is probably on my list. Like, not to take anything away from them. They did show us an incredible first half, but I mean, the past 6 days, the past 5-6 play days have not been convincing at all. So the fact that they are now almost 30 points behind Wheels in 13th place and needing to fight for qualifications when they were at once in top 5, that's a huge drop of performance. So I think Freedom Rumble is still going to struggle. Obviously, if they qualify, it would be a tale to tell for the grand finals. But I am still not super convinced after seeing their performances so far.
All right, so okay, Freedom Rumble. I hope you're listening because Husky's putting you on full blast right now. Husky, where can they find you on social media so they can kind of reach out to you and talk about this?
Find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter @Husky. You know where to find me.
All right, awesome. All right, so we're gonna get into this one. Obviously, I do agree with you. I think Freedom Rumble have a huge mountain to climb at this point. I think it's gonna be very difficult. So I think it's gonna be more interesting from the Argon, Malaysia, Do Easy, Bloody Head, Woos. Which one of these ends up being on top of all of them? Considering there's again the 6-point difference, which is actually quite crazy at this point in the league.
Yeah, and one good game can really change the tides for either of these teams, right? Maybe for teams like Do Easy or Argon MY, it will widen the distance from 9th to 10th or 10th to 11th. In terms of prize pool, it won't really change too much, but at least it gives them that sense of security and allow them to breathe a sigh of relief knowing that they've already made it to the grand finals. But on the other hand, you give Freedom Rumble a good game, and if they start taking out teams like Bloody Haze or Do Easy or Argon MY while surviving themselves, that is going to be quite an issue because Freedom Rumble then will have a lot more chances of making it through. They still have 4 more rounds to work with. They are, just hovering outside of command post. That is where Bloody Haze likes to hang around. So Freedom Rumble has challenged BH in this compound on multiple occasions, and most of the times Bloody Head have won. So let's see if FRU can change that.
And I hope they do. But okay, going into the last day, you literally have 4 more matches. This is it. Are you looking to go more aggressive? Are you looking to be more passive? Like, are you again just kind of going with the flow? Like, how would you play it?
I think depending on where I am on the leaderboard, right? If I'm free in a rumble, perhaps I would just do what they did. I mentioned in the interview, just play for placements. The kills will come with it because you eventually have to fight to get that booyah. But it seems like Bloody Head are going to win out, at least on the initial trade. That first contact is working in their favor. They're already down 2 members of FRU. Those guys get picked back up, but instantly gets knocked back down once more. Mark and is also going to knock down Apam. That's going to be 2 guys of Freedom Rumble out of commission. They will take some time to recuperate, but I don't think they're going to stand up for long because ZJ is going to land that first kill.
Yeah, and Insanity actually got a triple kill throughout. He's definitely someone you need to watch out for. This guy is just a stone cold killer. That said, PXG, they're kind of stuck in a corner. That motorcycle's on fire. The glue walls are starting to expire, and they're kind of on the wrong side of this cliff here as they kind of need to wrap around. Barba's getting some shots in, and he's completely by himself. Freedom Rumble has now been eliminated. That is a bad start for the first game.
Definitely not what they wanted. This is every single game counts. They cannot make mistakes, but getting knocked out in 10th place doesn't help with that at all. Blacklist International though, making life super hard for PSG Radicals. In fact, they also got the Wonder Boy Ray Mel on his knees, which means Tanamo is going to be the last guy alive and up against the entire squad of Blacklist International. This is going to be a tough fight. But Tanamo, he has known to put out clutches, and he just got to take those fights one by one. All about isolating those 1v1s. A man flank, he has to outrun that blue zone. That's going to give Tanamo time to, regenerate his health. But it's still a tall task, and Ajim is going to shut that all down. PSG Radicals will be knocked out in 9th.
Yeah, that's actually pretty crazy. Blacklist International, this is a top 3 team earlier in the league, and they've kind of fallen from grace. They're in 8th place now. They dropped 2 spots even just yesterday with a somewhat poor performance of just 20 points. But hey, if you're able to take out PXG, one of the big dogs in this race, you're going to have a good time. And this is a good start to Blacklist International. Yes, they're 8th, but they need to get into maybe 6th place just so that they can get into the money. The extra $200 is going to be a big one for them. So they do have some sort of incentive to keep on playing, making sure that they're there. But Freedom Rumble eliminated early. That's the big one right now because, Metrics is kind of like, okay, Freedom Rumble's not able to make the move, but what can we do? Metrics are still in this one. They still have a chance, but we're going to have to see how this one plays out.
And the fact that Freedom Rumble got eliminated by Bloody Hit basically just gave Bloody Hit that much more of a lead, making sure that Wheels also stays in the running should some of the members got shot by, I believe, FSK and SAF. But the fact that Wheels are still in the game is a problem for Freedom Rumble for the upcoming 3 rounds. With PXG Radicals out of the picture, though, I think SAF would also feel a bit more relief knowing that at least now they have a chance to extend that lead in the first place a bit more.
Yeah, I think SAF's strategy is just about placement points, right? You don't have to kind of do anything risky. I mean, all you need right now are the for sure points, and if you can do that just by staying alive, you're good. But MTX, look at this elevation. They're just raining down on fast kill and trying to do as many kills as possible. They've gotten 1 so far. That blue circle is starting to close in, and Woos have to make a move, and they're trying to kind of get third party through all of this. There's FSK running in, and MTX are just happily shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah, and let's see how many points MTS can do. The more they get, the better it is. But at least Wheels going to wipe out the entirety of FSK. That's going to be 3 points that MTS will not be able to get. But they might be able to salvage some of them by eliminating the members of Wheels. That grenade just goes a little bit wide. But Wheels being on the low ground is going to make them really easy target for Metrics if Metrics commits to it. But they also have to be careful, though, because on the other side, there is SAF and Argon MY. They are kind of on that high ground, pincering Metrics.
Yeah, look at Do Easy and Bloody Head's kind of in a bit of a skirmish. They're kind of running around. Sia is kind of all by himself, not looking to support his team for some reason. But Phoenix, again, just by himself, just trying to stay alive, trying to get as many points. But Ipan with a nice knock, he should get the kill. No, but the glue wall is on point. And I think he did get to secure the kill in the end as he's got 1. But Do Easy with 3 kills to kind of start things off. There's 7 teams left at 13 minutes.
Best possible weapon that iPads could have gotten for this high ground hold on Refinery, right? You drop the glue wall, that thing goes just penetrates the glue wall regardless. So the only weapon that can kind of wall bang enemies through their utilities, and that was it. So nothing much that a Bloody Head can do in that situation. They would just have to surrender that 1 member and leave the rest to their own devices. This is going to be a tricky circle, though. There's a lot of high to low ground, and you have that kind of a valley in the middle of 2 mountains, and so whoever is on whoever has those vantage points is gonna have a bigger advantage. SAF desperately trying to run on this high ground to take control of at least this part of the compound to make sure that they have a better fighting chance, but it's not gonna be easy.
Yeah, Woo's got eliminated there, so I'm sure Metrics is like, okay, we got this. We got to just make sure we're alive. We still have 3 kills to our name. Safik, it did go down, so they need to survive a little bit later. I mean, there's 5 teams left at this point. MTX are looking to just pull off the miracle run right here by just trying to get as many kills as possible. SAF are on the low ground. I like the fact that Metrics are on the high ground. It gives them a little bit of elevation. They can kind of see what's coming as they're looking to get into a firefight with Do Easy at this point.
But but Metrics has a lot to do with they're fired upon Do Easy. SAF is on the low ground. At least Do Easy is preoccupied by Bloody Hit, but they also need to hold back the entirety of Argon MY. And this is not an easy task. They've lost Shafiq earlier on, so this is kind of a 3 versus 4 versus 4 scenario. They just, like you said, have to play the survival game, and so far things are working out well. You know, these guys they're staying safe. They're also getting some chip damage in, but as the circle closes in, things are gonna get harder and harder. SAF, they are not a team that wants to wait for the opportunity. If they see a shot, they're gonna take it. But thankfully, SAF are also distracted by the likes of Do Easy and Argon MY. So Metrics, they just have to say a prayer and hold on for dear life.
Yeah, and Do Easy, Argon Malaysia, and it looks like there's Metrics is going to be 3 teams that are still surviving and just trying to stay alive for the 12th one. But Do Easy turning it up, and they just go ham, and they destroy a decent number, like just left and right. SAF are looking to just clean this up. Bayats gets a triple kill, tries to go for the pickup, but unfortunately not the case. Metrics does get eliminated 4th.
Yeah, Metrics, they did their best, but caught in the middle of a huge gunfight, so there's nothing much that they could do. Argon and Y went for the push, SAF did the same as well. But 4th place isn't too bad for Metrics. Me, Do Easy is going to be out in 3rd. Forbes wants to play the healing game, he pulls out the sight, goes in for the melee, but that is just not sufficient. I mean, Argon and Y starting off the day with a booyah. This is the 3rd booyah of the weekend, and they are still continuing that rise, make it the 6th booyah in the entire league stage.
I love the way Argon Malaysia has been playing. Just day after day after day. From the second half on, they've scored 40 points, 50 points, 28, that's a bad one, 55, 49, and then whatever today is. This is a team on the rise. I don't care what place you are. This team is going to get into the grand finals, and they're going to be a proven stalwart. You do need to be careful about this Argon Malaysia team. Look at them. Look at how good looking they are right on there, just like fixing their hair. They're ready to go because they realized that they had a great match one. Argon Malaysia, this is a team that you need to look out for.
Yeah, we talked about the possible miracle run for Freedom Rumble and Metrics, but there might be a side storyline for Argon Malaysia. If they keep this up, maybe Blacklist International will be knocked out to 9th place, and that is going to be huge leading into the grand finals. But with that being said, Argon MY starting things off on a good note. Let's bring back both Dana Lee and IC Baby, see what they have to say about Game 1. Welcome back, guys.
Oh,
thank
great to
you.
be back. Thank you. And there was a pretty interesting game considering that you did mention as well, Husky, about Argon NY potentially trying to overtake Blacklist. And they need about 60 points to actually do that. And currently, it seems impossible, right? Like, you need 60 points, and considering that Blacklist kind of bombs every single game, I don't know. Anything is possible. But as of yet, I know for a fact that Metrics, where was this Metrics yesterday? Because, out of nowhere, they have been one of the biggest spoilers at gatekeepers in that particular round, kind of forced everybody to be in a huge cluster there, Danny.
Actually, I don't want to talk about Metrics yet because I'm sorry. I don't think they're going to really move anywhere today. I think they're basically out. But 2 teams that I have been keeping an eye on today. So firstly, PXG and Freedom Rumble. Freedom Rumble had their dreams crushed. I think if they bomb out this next game, I think that's it. Freedom Rumble have absolutely zero chance of making it to top 12 because they need, if I'm going to try and math this, I think they need at least 60, 70 points for even a chance to make it to top 12. And to have the first game already go as bad as it, did they end with any kills? Does anyone know?
I think they got 1 on Batman. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, they did. They did get a couple great starts, especially when they picked the fight. I think it was against Do Easy as well. But what was really unfortunate was that while they were starting a couple of fights that they should not have started, they were actually punished very heavily by Bloody Head, Do Easy, and MTX as well to a certain degree, which was very, very weird. But it's just super unfortunate they were just put in that vicinity. Meanwhile, let's take a little bit of highlights here, where we do see a little bit more insights here. And yeah, like we said as well, Bloody Head is one of the gatekeepers for the bottom spot, picking an intentional fight against Freedom Rumble and just pretty much cost them a very costly loss right here.
There's a reason why teams don't challenge Bloody Head on Kalahari, especially when it comes to command post, right? Bloody Head has been holding that place since the dawn of time, and every single team that has tried to challenge them has lost. Freedom Rumble was probably the one team that kept going back for more, and they lost almost every single fight. So Bloody Head is making life tough for Freedom Rumble. I agree with Daniel Lee. One more bad round, and we can kind of officially wave goodbye to FRU.
Yeah, overall in general, aside from Freedom Rumble, SAF has been pretty consistent thus far. Not exactly sure what happened to PXG Radicals. They had this early aggression, picking a fight with Almighty, which was great, getting a couple of kill points, which is a very standard strategy where you get aggressive early on, and then you kind of play passively. But what happened right there was that PXG Radicals, not exactly sure what was going through their minds. It seems like they were trying to bring the morale or momentum from yesterday of getting just, ham on everybody. But that's the thing, yesterday there was no Kalahari, and today it's a brand new feeling, brand new terrains, and I felt like they just bombed out on Kalahari pretty hard.
Oh, it's probably just the nature of Kalahari. I do remember during their tea time that they did say that Kalahari is their weakest map. And it's really hard to execute their general playstyle on Kalahari just because it's so different to Purgatory and Bermuda, where because those 2 maps are so similar, they can execute that same playstyle, but Kalahari is just so easy to get punished. Like, there's teams waiting for you on the high ground. They know where you are. There's not much cover. So essentially, sometimes it's just a 50-50 matchup on whether you can get the kill on somebody before they get the kill on you. So I'm not surprised that they got punished on Kalahari, because we do tend to see this for PXG. But it does put a bit of a dent on their journey to dethrone SAF, right? Because SAF, they got second place. They got, I think, 5 kills going into that final circle as well. So that just widened the gap. And thus it just makes it where PXG, they have to put in more work to try and get that first place.
Yeah,
I think it might be difficult for them. I think that, PXG, they're in no pressure. The pressure is completely on SAF to perform. I think they had a better showing today. But PXG are continuing to do what they do in the sense of just playing spoiler, just trying to get as many kills as possible. And if we're looking at this right here, I mean, look, PXG Radicals, they still got 4 kills. They end up with, 6 points total, 13 points from the SAF team. They only had 4 kills as well, but they had better placement points. They're surviving to second place there. So in terms of putting the heat on SAF, you're doing that. PXG just continuing to do what they can in terms of that. But look at this. Do Easy, first place with 16 points, 8 kills. Argon Malaysia, yes, they got the booyah, but they were kind of passive, and they just ended up winning it because maybe a lucky circle or whatever, and only 3 kills. But if you're looking at the rest of the kill spread, it's spread throughout. So this is a good sign, at least going into today. You're going to see no team just hoarding everything. It's going to be a spread throughout. But again, we're going to have to look at the bottom. Freedom Rumble, I'm worried about you. Woos, I'm worried about you. Metrics, kind of picking it up. And I mean, I don't know if they have a chance, but they're trying to do their best.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Metrics, it seemed like they were trying a beginning of the miracle run if they got the booyah, but unfortunately they just did not have enough kills. And I perfectly agree. As the game goes by, getting lesser and lesser games, the cruciality of just getting the booyah, not just the booyah, high kill volumes is very, very important this final few matches. And like we said as well, mathematically, one whole day getting 70 points, pretty hard to do. However, for those guys watching at home, be sure to stay tuned to the stream because we are going to be giving away 2 Winterlands gun box later. So be sure to tune in to wait for the code,
I like how you stopped it. Wait for the code.
Wait for the code. Wait for the code. We're just going to wait for it.
I was waiting for it. It didn't show up.
It's not going to show up. No, that's why. That's the thing. It's all about the suspense.
It decides. Look, the code decides when it's ready, and apparently it's not ready yet.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what we can be ready for? Our next matchup of the day. So Kalahari is done and dusted, which means that we're going to be jumping onto Purgatory next. Now, this is a more favorable matchup for map up, I guess, for some teams, as they do prefer to play on Purgatory. But Group A versus Group B, I think we'll just jump into it, yeah?
All right. Thank you, Danny and Icy Baby 1-2. We're going to go into Purgatory now. This is going to be a little bit of a smaller map. This is going to be match 2. Of course, a Group A versus B. This is the one. We're going to figure it out. Who really wants it? Who wants to be in the grand finals? What's going to happen is Woos, Freedom Rumble, Metrics. Who's going to be the 12th place team? We're going to find out. Husky, who's your favorite going into this second match?
My favorite, I would say for Purgatory, I think PSG Radicals has a really good chance. Compared to SAF, I think PSG Radicals probably does better on Purgatory. For SAF, they are more of a Bermuda guy. But I also want to keep my eyes out for FastQ and Y. I think in game number 1, they had a okay game. It's not going to affect them too much. They're still in 3rd place with ITX kind of behind them, trailing by 9 points. But ITX, they're not going to be playing until the next round. So FastQ and Y still has some chances to extend that lead. And I really want to see if they can pull out that great round on Purgatory.
Yeah, this is the time, and you're going to start to see this. I think Fast Kill Malaysia, I mean, they were kind of an average game, I would say, but this is the 3rd place team. You see that this team just kind of tears things up. But the problem is that Tactical Intex, who are in Group C, they will be playing later today, they're hot on the heels of that 3rd place position. We're going to have to find out if, Fast Kill Malaysia can keep up the momentum as they go into this one. But Freedom Rumble here, we're going to take a little view here. They're right next to Almighty. Batman is nearby. Shira, Jay-Z, Ren, all of those guys are in the next building. Drags does see them, but I don't think he wants to give away his position as he's looking for hopefully some sort of a clean shot on this team right here.
Something is brewing between FRU and Almighty. This is the 2nd round in a row that they both share the same drop spot. I don't think I've seen this happen throughout the group stage, at least not as consistent as this, right? They drop in the same spot last round. Obviously, Freedom Rumble kind of won that one out. They killed Batman, and then the rest of Almighty got destroyed by PXG Radicals. But in this case, these two teams are locked in a 4 versus 4, and I think Jay-Z got an inkling of where Freedom Rumble might be. This is going to be a standoff for a while, but knowing Freedom Rumble, they might just be that team to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I think they need to. They need to turn something up. Something is not working for them. I mean, it's like 32 points behind Woos. They need to ensure that they get some kills. That's going to be the biggest thing. Placement points might be a little unlucky at times. You might get eliminated early. That's unfortunate. But hey, destiny is in your hands, so to speak. And you got to control that by taking out as many people as possible. You got to be a little bit more aggressive. You got to change things up.
And Argo and MY, they just destroyed one of PXG Radical's vehicles. So you can see that they are feeling super good about themselves, right? Yesterday, they closed their day out with 2 consecutive booyahs, and then they just got the first booyah of today. And they are feeling super confident. Like you rightfully pointed out, these guys are on the rise. We love how they play. They are so close to, rising in the leaderboard. They're in 9th place right now. It is not impossible for them to go farther into 8th or 7th place.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, they're on 9th position right now, but this is a team that, hey, when the top 12 happen, no one really wants to fight Argon Malaysia. I think that that's going to be there, especially with how many booyahs they got. I mean, this is a team that is mechanically sound. They make very good decisions. They've been surviving throughout. Again, this is just not a team that people want to get in, but it looks like Cobbs throws in the grenade. Actually doesn't do too much damage. He does a little sneaky grenade. He runs away, but he's outside. He does need to be a little bit careful here. Cobbs is trying to maybe find a shot onto Apam. He's not able to draw a bead, though.
And just as we predicted, Freedom Rumble will be the team that pulls the trigger first. Knowing how passive some of these members on Almighty are, especially, Batman, I think Freedom Rumble, they're just going to try and capitalize on this. See that Apam Cobbs has his sight out. Maybe he's going to try to go for those one-hit knockdown. But Freedom Rumble, they kind of have Almighty all surrounded. They have to make it quick though. Metrics is nearby. They might hear all these gunshots. So Freedom Rumble, it's time for them to execute the push.
Oh, they heard the grenade and they want some of the action. Metrics need some points as well. They are desperate and hungry, and they need to figure out how to get some points, how to catch up so that they have a chance for the 12th position. So they're looking to just find what they can. But Almighty kind of huddled up in that corner there, just not really doing much. But they're just trying to survive at this point, maybe hope and pray that these guys go away. But it doesn't really look like anything can really happen. But Drags gets a nice little knock there. So he got it from outside, and it looks like they're going to try to storm the building, but Time Turner is going to be used, and Vegeta's looking to just get some shots in. Nobody's going down. Batman's getting a little bit low. They do need to be careful here, as it looks like Jay-Z does get knocked in the end.
Yeah, and Metrics, they've been waiting for this opportunity. They see the kill feed light up with Almighty members. As AMT, they get eliminated, but as Freedom Rumble tries to recuperate, they hear the nades being lobbed in, and it's Metrics' turn to make a difference. If they can take out Freedom Rumble, they not only crush FRU's chances of making it to the grand finals, but they also keep themselves alive for a bit longer to have that chance of a miracle run. This is not going to be easy though. Freedom Rumble, they need to win this fight.
That was one step of many that they need to do. Now they're going to look to just clash with Metrics here. Freedom Rumble and Metrics going at it. Who wants to be top 12? We'll figure out as whoever ends up surviving this little skirmish here. But Metrics, Xbox goes down. Rin is getting a little bit low. He's trying to just shoot it out. And Freedom Rumble gets eliminated. Metrics with 4 kills. That is massive for them. They need to surpass Freedom Rumble and to hopefully get into that 12th position where Woos is standing.
Yeah, and Freedom Rumble is unfortunately, I think it is safe to say that their hopes are dashed, because they won't have enough points to qualify for top 12 unless something changes drastically. Will bombs out for the final 2 rounds, and Freedom Rumble gets a massive booyah for their final 2 rounds. Easier said than done though. Metrics, they've got step 1 done correctly, but now they have to deal with PXG Radicals, and this is just an almost impossible task on paper. To see Metrics, they're desperately scrambling to get to safety. The battle lines have been completely split up. Everyone is running for their lives, as Mantai is going to be knocked down by his own vehicle. Ramia's going to snipe his head off, and PXG Radicals, they're about to clean up shop, and Metrics, despite taking out FRU, now will also face their own demise.
Oh, and PXG Radicals, their cleanup aisle too, because they just come on in and they go in for the weak Metrics, who were not able to regroup and to kind of get themselves positioned. Woos, on the other hand, are on the run. They do see PXG and they're like, okay, we don't want any of this right now. We are not prepared here. But Insanity, like a crazy man on a motorcycle, he goes right in on them. He's just driving right by. Doesn't actually want to commit for this one. But PXG, the rest of the team are kind of scattered throughout. This is a team just running in pairs at this point, and they do find the last Rin OP from Metrics, and they do end up knocking him out, and Metrics is looking in a bad spot right now.
Thankfully, they got one guy out of danger, so at least Metrics can still play for that placement point. But I know, just to rewind a bit, I think Freedom Rumble had a good chance of beating Metrics if they just play a bit more patiently. Metrics sends 4 guys up the same stairs, and Freedom Rumble decided, you know what, we're gonna send cops into their time turner to kind of 1v2. That didn't work out as we saw. So Freedom Rumble, slight mistake, ended up causing them potentially the playoff runs. And for Metrics, their hopes are most likely dashed as well. The difference being they at least have one more guy, Xbox 77, to play for their placement points. But that's going to be a tall task.
Yeah, he's all by himself. This is one of those things where you're literally just hiding in a corner, just praying that nobody sees you. You know, don't move, don't breathe. Just stay away from all these killers, pretty much, right? I don't think there's anything that you can really do. But on the other hand, if we're looking at what Black has done, they've been largely quiet, at least this game. Not too many skirmishes, but they are nearby PXG Radicals, who have been on the prowl. They've been on the hunt. They've been killing almost everybody else. But, you know, Black, do you want to go head-to-head against PXG?
I think Blacklist International are in a pretty comfortable spot, right? They are slightly behind Almighty, but Almighty had 2 abysmal rounds, right, with 0 points. So Blacklist International, as long as they survive, they're gonna eventually overtake Almighty on that overall leaderboard. I mean, sure, they have 4X-Man Expert behind them, but at least for Blacklist International, getting these points is going to be super valuable. So I don't think you want to challenge PXG Radicals head on, but if PXG runs at you, then why not? You beat them last round, you can do it again. FSK is going to just run at wheels and just wipe them out in a blink of an eye. 5 seconds is all it took, but Fastkill MY will get 4 quick points.
Oh my gosh, fast kill right there. They're going in hot and heavy, living up to their name. They're just going aggressive, and they just end up wiping them out. Very nicely played there. Nice little grenades, nice little coverage, just going in pairs, which is quite coordinated, and you know, a really good play there. But if we're looking at, again, Black, we're going a lot. We're showing them. Oh, it looks like he's going to just go in. The glue wall's instantly being put down. He's kind of blocked out there. Ajim can't actually draw B. He's trying to barrel through this one, and it looks like Manflake does get the kill on Insanity. That's a good start to this one.
Yeah, Insanity just a bit too overzealous. Runs into the compound while Tanamo just got knocked down by a nade. So PXG Radicals were not able to provide the backup. The plan falling apart a bit, but since Insanity committed, he had no choice but to fight with his life, and it ended up in his death. Now Blacklist International, with the initial pickup, they're gonna start taking on PXG Radicals in a more aggressive manner. PXG started the fight, but Blacklist, they intend to end it.
Yeah, they smell blood in the waters, and they realize with that extra pickoff, hey, they got numbers. Let's try to take advantage of this, try to do what we can. But it looks like they got caught off. You know, PXG they lost somebody, but it's a perfect disengage, and they're out of troubled waters, at least for now. But if we're looking at, okay, Morgana, obviously he's getting a little dizzy there, just doing some 360s, but he's just kind of scouting around. But Bloody Head, not being able to do much, but hey, Ramiel with a nice knock onto Black Ajim, that's going to start things off, and they're going to go back to the action here with Barba just getting the knock there. Cobra's looking to just find a beat on somebody. He does get knocked, and it looks like PXG are coming out the victors, at least thus far. Ajim with the last hope, and no, PXG's like, I don't care if I've only got 3 players. I'm going to win this one out, as they have 7 kills at the 11-minute mark.
This is just gonna make up for round number 1, right? Blacklist International took them out, but PXG Radicals came back and delivered sweet revenge on a cold serving. So right now with 7 points, this is not just going to make up for the underwhelming round 1, but it puts them back in the running for that first spot. For Blacklist International though, unfortunately they were not able to get much. Only 1 kill onto Insanity. They will probably leave this game with the placement points of 8th place. Not too much for them to work with, but you know, PXG Radicals, they were the one who started the fight, and they managed to clean up.
Oh, and I just love the play style of PXG, willing to take the fight on. You know, if you see a team with the kill feed, you can see all the fact that PXG has gotten 7 kills. SAF are like, hey, we're just kind of chilling, having tea in a random building somewhere. But I'm a little worried about the fact that PXG are starting to catch up to me, and so SAF are probably thinking, oh, we got to figure something out. We got to knock out PXG in some way. I mean, yeah, they realize that PXG might have only 3 players, but this is still a team with 7 kills, and they're looking for more.
Yeah. And PXG Radicals playing like SAF when they first started out the league, right? Just going ham and engaging in every fight and just winning them with utter confidence. But SAF doesn't seem like they will move anytime soon. They are hanging out on the outskirts of Brasilia. They have that circle in their favor. I think SAF, just like what they said in one of the tea time episodes of MCP Major, they just want to focus on consistency, and so far it seems like playing passively is going to be that main route that they're going down.
Yeah, but look at this circle. Really unfortunate for Bloody Header, kind of in a rough spot. Argon Malaysia, not the best. I mean, not the worst position there. They're in a pretty decent spot. They've been largely quiet. Argon Malaysia just playing to their strengths of just, hey, surviving. We'll figure out some sort of pickoffs when we can. And then it looks like there's going to be a little bit of a skirmish here with Do Easy getting some shots in. Sparks is kind of out in the open. Does need to be a little bit careful, though, as he looks to just kind of run away now. But giving away your position like that, not the greatest thing, especially for Argon Malaysia. I don't like this fight for them.
Yeah, they don't have a compound to work with, and they are out in the open. But I think he's doing his job. Just keeping Do Easy at bay. He's buying time for Oregon MY to kind of make their move. I mean, Matrix, Xbox 77, he's the lone guy nearby, but we know that he's not going to start any fight anytime soon, because if he does, they're going to just hunt him down. So Argon NY somehow makes it past Do Easy, but guess who backtracked? PXG Radicals. They're going to make their presence known, and suddenly the entire battlefield is going to shift, because with PXG Radicals around, now you can't just run into an individual team, because PXG Radicals are going to come in to clean things up.
I feel like PXG are like, the enemy in the aliens in like the what is that, the Quiet Place, where they just like hear things and they just like run after them and they just go crazy, right? Like this is a team that just like hears bullets like really far away, but it doesn't really matter, and they just go directly. They make a beeline for them, and they want to get in the action and try to get as many kills. And I love the fact that, hey, PXG, even to the end, even the fact that they're guaranteed top 3 at this point, top 2, this is a team that still wants to get more kills.
Yeah. I mean, this is a battle royale. It is, last man standing, survival of the fittest. But PXG Radicals are playing it like, like Warzone, right? They're just running around trying to get as much kills as possible, and they somehow manage to plant themselves in the middle, surrounded by at least 4 teams. But they got the read right. I mean, they are in the center of the circle right now, so every single team that enters the safe zone is gonna have to deal with their crosshairs and their fire and their firing squad. But the downside is that they only have 3 guys. They lost to Sanity early on to Blacklist International. That is something that they will need to keep in check every now and then.
All right, but it looks like PXG, they're kind of bunkered down in the central area. I mean, they've got a nice building here. It's right in the circle. I mean, there's going to be a ton of angles they need to cover, which is my biggest worry, but they've got 3 players left. Are they able to do this, especially with 7 teams left? This is going to be the 4th circle coming up. I don't know if this is a great position for them, because you definitely don't want to be in the midst of everything, especially with, all the different guns that could be kind of barreling in on you. But FSK, on the other hand, have 4 kills. They could look to draw B on SAF, who are slowly starting to move towards the open area there.
Yeah, SAF have to move. But Hanma, he's keeping tabs on their movements. He sees the glue wall, and he sees all the members of SAF just running around, kind of feeling like hairless chickens. But I think SAF also has an idea of what they need to do. They're starting to clear out the building that Hanma is in with those nades. But Hanma, he's already evacuated. And in fact, SAF, they're under fire, so this is not looking good. On the other hand, you have Bloodyhead taking on Argon MY, and X2R somehow managing to bob and weave around the building. He tries to go for the flank. He does have the glue wall to work with, but Pedro is already down. They need to get him back up. Bloodyhead, they're not happy with last round, but at least for Argon MY, they still get a couple of trades in. This is the 4th circle, so whoever gets knocked down gets left behind, and Argon MY knows it. They are all on the run.
Yeah, they're all on the run. Nice little disengage right there. They were kind of in and out as much as possible. Bloody Head gets eliminated 7th. Argon Malaysia just kind of pulling it out strong. Just being, again, we talked highly of this team, especially in the past, 4 or 5 days. And this is a team that's still continuing to rise up, making good decisions, getting some kills there. But it looks like FSK are trying to throw a grenade, but that glue wall will say nay to that grenade. As he's holding it, he's trying to find the perfect spot. Is he able to get it over? He does get the nice knock on the 4 bids.
And this is going to be tough. I mean, Sharks now he's going to ready to go in for the flank. And yes, of course, he gets 4 bits out of the game. PSG Radicals, they're running in. So FSK, they have to start worrying about PSG Radicals. Do Easy also joins the fight. You see, this is a grenade galore as Hanma is going to lose his life to Tanamo. That's the 8th kill for PSG Radicals. And the grenade launcher is also whipped out by PXG. This is not looking good for any team except for PSG. I mean, Argon NY, they're going to run in from the southern side. This is going to give them some time to work with as this chaos subsides. Metrics will finally be knocked out in 6th place, but for all these other teams, it's a chaotic place to be in.
It is urban warfare. This is giving me flashbacks of World War II back when I was alive during that. I don't know when. But Do Easy here trying to draw a beat on Fast Kill. He's trying to get in. He gets stuck in the glue wall. Doesn't really have much that he can do. He has to fire his way out of this one. Unfortunately, there's 5 different teams. The smallest of areas, glue walls, buildings, corners, everything just blocking all kinds of lines of sight. Right now is a grenade paradise. If you've got any sort of utility, now is the time. Start throwing them into buildings. Making sure that, try to hit what you can at this point, because sometimes you got to get a little lucky.
And this is probably the most congested scene I've ever seen in this major. And look at that, everyone is trying to outrun the blue zone, and Argon NY, best possible spot on the other side. I mean, all the other teams are taking each other out. SCS gonna be out in 5th place. Do Easy running in as Fast Q NY gets taken on the way out. I mean, Do Easy with 2 guys left, down to 1. Argon NY still somehow surviving, and Do Easy shot goes for the challenge with 2 HP. Actually takes down a member of Argon NY. Shah might be able to do this. He turns the corner, goes for the swing, but Sparks, it's gonna close out the game. Another booyah under the belt of Argon NY. Make it 2 in a row for the last day of the group stage.
Oh my gosh, Argon Malaysia, I am on this hype train. I am a believer. 2 in a row, 2 yesterday. This is a team that's completely on point. They're consistently doing well. They're understanding just the state of the game. Even frenetic fights that you're seeing, they're able to survive this. This is a testament to the team itself. Yes, they might be a little lucky, but hey, 4 booyahs in a row lucky? I don't know about that.
Yeah, and this was a team that was not even in top 12 to begin with, right? For the first 3 to 4 weeks, they were in like 14 to 18th place, and even when they had that 2 miraculous round, I think all of us on the panel agree that yeah, those were just lucky rounds. Argon and Y, they have a long way to go. Look at where they are right now, 4 booyahs in a row in top 12, still kind of climbing the rankings. This is a team that you have to watch out for, and I think both our hosts will agree. Let's bring back Danali and Icy Baby 1-2. I know we've talked about Argon NY just now, but we have to talk about them again. Another booyah on the board.
That was a pretty insane game. I'm not gonna lie. Argon MY seems like they're fully preparing itself to head into the final stages, and for them to get a back-to-back again on top of yesterday's games, kind of sick. Not gonna lie, kind of sick.
I remember we originally looked at Argon MY, and I think a lot of us just sort of shook our heads whenever we saw the team, or thinking, this team's not going to go too far. I mean, they struggled to make it to top 12 at the beginning of the season, and then they've really developed not only their playstyle, but you can see their confidence going into the matchups as well far exceeds what we originally saw. The old Argon MY would wait for that action to come to them, but now we're looking at a team that is more than happy to skirmish, because you can see that they're oozing with not just that confidence, but as they're playing, I just feel like this team is getting more and more skillful. I think that they can easily skirmish with these top tier teams.
Yeah, I definitely agree. They have shown signs that they are a team that are not messing around here. We did see a couple of interesting strats from the rest of the teams, which will be shown later on in the highlights as well. But one of the ones that really stood out for me was the earlier engagements. Like by Circle 1, out of nowhere, I have no idea what happened to Freedom Rumble. It felt like they were the biggest magnets of the world. Like they were attracting so much attention, and I'm not gonna lie, the odds were so stacked against them. They had the danger zone on them. They had the early skirmish against Almighty, and they not just attracted them, they had to force a fight against MTX. They pulled in PXG on top of it all. And I think it was like, what, 5 teams passing by towards the west side of Brasilia, and I had no idea what FRU did, but it's just so unfortunate that they had to take a dip right there.
All right,
Yeah, I mean,
this one, PXG Radicals, I think they make a dent into the lead of SAF. I think that they're going to have a chance for that. They got a good number of kills. They actually outplaced SAF in the end. So that one's going to be a little bit closer moving into the next matches. The second piece of this is at Argon Malaysia. This is the story that we've been talking about all day today. I mean, especially with 2 booyahs in a row. But this is a team that in day 1, they scored 3 points. That is the lowest throughout the entire league, okay? Let's put this into perspective where they scored 49 points yesterday, 55 just last week, in terms of their play day. So this is a team that knows how to score, especially now. And they're getting 2 booyahs today. So nothing we've seen but growth on this, guys. And they're just getting better and better. They need to be careful about this team.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And on top of it all, PXG Radical seems like they've got themselves a pretty decent amount of kills. And based on our earlier discussion as well with Danley regarding about Kalahari being one of the weakest map, they're back at Purgatory. They're here again and just popping off. And it seems to be they've won almost all of their close quarter combats, racking themselves a pretty huge margin here. 18 points for themselves. Argon MI, they've got the Booyah, but it's only 70 points. Do Easy also popping off, trying to lead away from the bottom benchmark with 15 points. Fast Kill MY 13. Looking good. Metrics slowly climbing away, but it seems like it's going to be a really, really long shot for them to actually make it into the top 12. Freedom Rumble. Thoughts on this, Danny? 5th place. 5 points, sorry.
I don't know why you're asking me. I think we all agree that mathematically speaking, Freedom Rumble cannot make it to top 12, regardless of what happens during the next 2 matches.
When you're negative like that, of course, they will never. With an attitude like that, no way. But no, technically they can. They're 29 points behind. Woos.
There's
right?
a
They have a
method to
chance.
my madness, okay? There is a method to the madness, and it's sometimes you need to just think there is no hope for there to be hope. So,
I mean, if,
All right, but if we're looking at the top. Okay, go on. Sorry, Husky.
Okay, I mean, it is still possible, right? If Wheels somehow has 2 bad games in a row, and Freedom Rumble has 2 good games in a row, then yes, it's possible, right? You have to hold on to the very end. But
you're asking for a lot.
I'm asking for a lot.
Well, at least they're still ahead of Views, in this recent map as well. Like, their points are still slowly racking away. But 20 points, I don't know. It feels like one good Booyah and possibly, 10 kills again, like how PXG Radicals did. Maybe, just maybe, it's possible, okay? Just maybe. But as of yet, for those of you watching up on the screens here, you guys have been waiting for this moment here. The codes are up right now. Claim it before it's gone. It's right below here. We are giving away 2 amazing prizes for you guys.
Yes, make sure to claim it. The code is going to be valid until the end of the stream, so share it around. If your friends can't tune in, share it with them. Everyone can claim it. There's not one box, there's a box for everybody, so share the code with your friends. Now, we do need to start talking about our next matchup, right? So Group A is going to sit on the sidelines for now, whereas we're going to continue on with Group B, who are now going to be pit up against Group C. Now, we are also going to stick with the storyline. SAF are competing with PXG Radicals for that 1st place position. So PXG are going to have to wait for the final round for their next shot. But SAF, these next 2 matches are going to be important if they want to maintain that 1st placing. Looking at their performance from yesterday, do you guys feel that SAF are going to be able to rack up enough points to safely stay ahead of PXG?
I'm going to stick with my no.
That-
I
that-
still believe that PXG is going to overtake them.
Okay.
Yeah, there's only a 5-point
agree.
differential.
I definitely agree. I think PSG, they have no chance in stopping, but that's the thing, right? Kalahari is their weakest map, and I don't know, maybe not, but I'm just banging on the fact here. I don't think they can. Maybe in the possible last game, they would be able to, I guess.
Caller?
All right, normally I have to just, counter whatever Husky says in the sense of just, going the complete opposite. He said that they were going to do it, but I actually like their chances. I like the way that the PXG team has been playing. They're only 5 points behind. I think it can be done. I want to see PXG overtake SAF for the final today.
All right, so as we round up the teams for our next matchup, we're going to go for a quick commercial break. So make sure you grab your snacks, go to the toilet, grab your drinks, do it all now because once you come back, we've got 2 amazing matches coming up for you all. See you after this.
Hey yo, Moco,
What up, Zero?
it's about that time.
Let's get 'em. Max out. I'm the one that they ask about. Money team better come with your racks out. Stadium packed out, crowd going crazy. Queen of this here, I ain't leaving my chair. Money green high heels, I make them shiver. Post up, post off, and I deliver. I'm gold, you glitter. They old and bitter, I'ma fight for it. Take it to the next level, ride like a bike pedal. Hotter than a kettle on fire. Stand back and admire. Winning this game and I'm taking the empire. Time to start the show, ready now, fire. Revolution, I'm here with the solution. Top contender, I'm the one they keep choosing. If it ain't me, I'ma need you to tell me who then. Fiction time, kick 'em out and I'm a moving. Who want it? You want it, let's get it. Come with the ambush, now they saying forget it. Start at the beginning, you'll be done in like a minute. I don't have no limit, all I know is winning.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you. I've been here before, I have felt this. This eternal war, I was dealt this. A true rebel in arms, I put pebble to palm and dig deep. I'm the heartbeat for the helpless. Delve deeper, the grim reaper, the phlegm leaker, limb breacher, keeping the fire aiming at them people. And I ain't about to worry about a nemesis. Better risk it all. I don't start, but I finish this. Go to battle with adversaries, have them carried away when they waving that flag. I take it to the max and go round after round, round up the pound. Soon as I get done with that, light another match. Set a blaze to the maze full of competitors. My instincts are in sync, my only weapon, bruh. And I ain't backing down, I ain't giving up. They wanna tear it down, I'ma build it up. Up in the clouds is where I wanna land. Survival of the fittest, I ain't running, man. That's the sound of the victory. After it's all done, you'll remember me.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the MCP Majors Season 2. We've just concluded our first matchup of the day for Groups A versus B. Now we're going to be jumping into B versus C on Kalahari. And the race continues for not only the top 12, but also for that first place in the groups, as SAF now need to maintain their lead over PXG Radicals, who look to dethrone our group kings. I mean, we did ask this before the break whether PXG would be able to do it or not, and it seems like so far the majority are saying yes. But Icy, did you say no?
Yeah, I did say no, just because of Kalahari. Like, based on the performances for both PXG as well as SAF in Kalahari, SAF definitely stood out a little bit more. They understood that the terrains were very, very punishing, especially when you do not have high ground. So they made a very smart choice of just playing it low key and make it into the top 4. Whereas PXG, they still have this mentality of very kill hungry kind of mentality where they went ham all the way through. Yes, arguably you can do that on Purgatory, you can do it in Bermuda. Okay, it's fine. That is their comfort maps. But seeing how they played it as well, you can give a really good idea that PXG, they're very, very good close quarters, whereas long range is just not their forte. So I feel like maybe if PXG has like a pretty decent game in Kalahari, then maybe they will be the ones that overtake. But if Kalahari, they bomb out, I think SAF, they might just take the #1 spot.
Now, speaking of SAF and PXG Radicals, so the team is these two teams are basically just 5 points apart. right? So their next 2 matches can determine whether or not who is going to make it through. But something interesting to take note here, okay? PXG Radicals, they have 11 booyahs compared to SAF's 9 booyahs. But look at the placement points. SAF, as a team, have been more consistent in their placement. So even though they haven't gotten all the booyahs, they're consistently sitting towards the top end of the bracket, claiming those placement points. Whereas if you take a look at kill points, these teams are tied.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like I said as well, like SAF, just based on this very minuscule disparity, even though, in logic term, it doesn't mean much, but based on the amount of matches they have played, you can see a distinct playstyle. SAF, they do prioritize on their safety or positioning a little bit more compared to kill points, whereas PXG Radicals, they just go very, very aggressive. And you can see it very just based on the previous 2 games. So hopefully, like I said as well, PXG, they get a little bit smarter, maybe Circle favoring a little bit more in Kalahari. Probably they will be able to take it. But yeah, there is a particular team that I actually kind of stood out in game number 2 was actually Fast Kill MY. They did a pretty decent amount of strategies, even though they did not have the most amount of booyahs. But they were executing a lot of strategies, which are a macro play in a sense where when they pick a fight, they start a fight, they don't exactly commit to it fully. Like, they try to bait other teams to help them a little bit more, and which was very interesting. They put themselves in a very difficult spot to kind of gain a little bit of edge, even though they knew they were going to be bombed out. They were not going to go down swinging.
So I guess the question is SAF going to be able to dominate this group? Because last week, to a certain degree, you can say that SAF didn't do so well, but the week before that, they did amazing in Group C. So we'll have to find out in just a moment, but for now, we'll throw it over to our casters who are going to take it away for our first game of Group B versus C. It's Holler and Husky. Take it away.
Final 4 rounds of the final day of the group stage. Yes, Holler, I'm excited to see if PXG Radicals will complete the comeback and overtake SAF. 5 points separate these 2 teams. Down from 100, PXG Radicals have done an amazing job. But on the other hand, the miracle run, it is still possible for Freedom Rumble. However small the chance is, it is still doable. But they need to make the last 2 rounds work.
All right, Metrics is another one. They're only 9 points away from Freedom Rumble, and actually they've done better than Freedom Rumble throughout the day. But again, only 2 games left, 29 points. Are they able to catch up to Woos? They're not going to be playing Woos in this one because it's B versus C, and Woos is, of course, in Group A, but now is the time. If you don't have it, Woos could literally just sit out the next one and be happy with 12th place at this point. But Freedom Rumble, they need to step it up. They need to get those kills, making sure that they have that. But we're going to go into Kalahari. We're going to figure out all of this. Let the teams kind of sort themselves out, so to speak. It's going to be B versus C on this one. Freedom Rumble, can they do it? Husky, are you a believer?
I am a believer. I think it would be heartbreaking to not see Freedom Rumble in the grand finals, and as much as I want them, as much as I believe that they can do it, it is all up to them right now. And they have control of their own destiny, but it is literally down to the wire. We gave them 4 rounds, they blew 2 of them, and this is it. This is the final chance. And early on, Icy Baby did say that he thinks SAF is going to stay in first place just because they are better on Kalahari. I understand the argument, but I want to rebut that. I think PXG Radicals is going to do better simply because they are feeling so confident. And you can see SAF, they're not looking for those kills. They're playing safe. Last round they got 5th place, but they got 0 kills. And PXG Radicals were just way more proactive. Just based off that confidence alone, I think PXG Radicals will have a better chance, even if they're not playing right now.
This is going to be weird, but I'm actually going to agree with you. I think that PXG just have been playing on point today. Again, just how you hit it on the head on the nail, so to speak, in the sense of just that team just being aggressive, trying to take as many fights as possible, trying to get kills. This is a team that, hey, it doesn't matter if it's the last day, it doesn't matter what place I am, I'm going to try my best. I love that. Teams that are going to look to do that, Argon Malaysia, that's another one. This is a team that says never say die. I don't care what it is, what time of day. I want to play some Free Fire and let's go. We're going to figure out what's going on right now. But another team that we haven't really talked too much about is Bloody Head. This is a team that still needs to kind of make sure that they're in there. Yes, they're 11th place, but actually there's only a 9-point differential from Woos. right? So technically, if Freedom Rumble were to make the jump from Woos, Bloody Head is still a team that are potentially could get knocked out. They need to be a little bit careful here.
Yeah, every single point matters for Bloody Hit. And I think it is less of them making it to top 12 and more of can they get a booyah in the league stage. You know, They have 2 more rounds left, and they're the only team again in top 12 with no booyahs. They don't need any booyahs, and they still have almost the same survival points as all the other teams that are all the way up to Blacklist International. That's 232. I mean, Bloody Hit 231. So essentially, these guys are survivors. They just could not close out the rounds. So many times we see them end the game and the match in second place. There's just something between them and a booyah.
And I think that even if they make the grand finals, this is a very disconcerting stat. The fact that you're not able to get booyahs, because once that grand finals happens and there's only so many matches, the teams that are going to get the booyahs are going to have that huge jump on you. You're not going to be able to survive. You can't, go mediocre and then end up trying to win this league, right? Or this tournament. It's just not going to happen. So they need to figure out something. Something is not working. Something's not clicking. They're not able to get it. And yes, luck is a big factor of this. But the fact is, we have had 12 play days and we have not seen a single booyah as they get knocked here by Juan from XPR.
Oh, that's going to really dampen their chances for sure. I cannot brain drawing first blood. And yeah, I cannot brain they are not going to make it to the grand finals. But yesterday we saw them going absolutely insane. They played bonkers. They completely destroy all the big teams. And I mean, Bloody Hit, they are just trickling in one by one. That's going to be a bad idea. ZJ is the last man to try to keep his team alive in the second last round. And there's no more. Bloody Hit, first team to get knocked out, and cannot brain gets a full clean wipe.
Yeah, Bloody Head are like, come on, XPR, are you serious? You're not even in, you're 17th place, you have nothing, and all they're doing right now is they're literally putting a spike on your, they're planting a flag on your dead bodies, as Areens is really milking this one.
Yeah, you have to kind of savor the moment, right? They're not gonna, they only have like 4 more rounds to play. They're not in the grand final, so you might as well just milk it as much as you can. Poor Bloody Hit. So 1 more round for a booyah. It's not this round. It's going to be next round, hopefully. I mean, even if they don't get it, they will still make history, right? As the one team that qualified without a single booyah. That's a pretty good, repo to have, I would say.
Yes. All right, another team, 4X-Men Expert. This is first match for them. This is obviously the 3rd match of the day throughout, but this is the 7th place team. This is a team that's kind of been, I would say, average at best. They've scored 37 points the last day, 10th in play day 10. They scored 40 points. This is a team that's sometimes they go hot and they can just destroy everything. Sometimes they go cold, and there's a little bit of inconsistency with this 4X-Men Expert team. This is a team that I really liked. I feel like they have potential, but just closing games out, making sure that they make the right decisions, they do have a little bit of a struggle with that.
Yeah, and this team, even during FFMC, they had a rocky start, and there were a lot of memes, a lot of jokes about Forest Man Expert, especially I believe Spade, because he was always the first guy to die during during FFMC. Obviously, that was not the case for MCP Major. He really stepped out his game. He stopped being the meme and he became kind of the hero for the team. But I do agree, Forest Man Expert, even though they are the new kids on the block, they were able to make it to top 8. They just need to fix that hot and cold performance to have better results.
All right, look at Sia just trying to draw a bead. He's got the nice little position in Refinery. Just that elevation is just massive. Refineries is just like a huge, it's a tough place to just take over, just because of the fact that there's so many different levels that you could be at, or the enemy could be at, if you don't control it. So a little bit of a worry there, but Freedom Rumble Uppam does get killed in the end, I think. That is not a good place to be. He's all by himself. Uppam, sorry, he's been knocked. And it looks like he's just going to be slowly whittled down. That glue wall is going to go down. He's just going to reload it, try to get some shots in, and he does end up getting the kills. Xiao will secure that one.
Oh boy, another bad start for Freedom Rumble, and kind of not having the vantage point, getting pinned down by DoEasy. This is not good at all. I mean, Cobbs has to win this fight. If he loses this, I mean, Freedom Rumble, they're not going to have any chance at all. But with DoEasy kind of rushing him and taking him out, Freedom Rumble, just down to 2 guys.
Yeah, you can hear just the giddiness in the Woos team right now watching this because they realize that, hey, if these guys are out, they got eliminated at 11th, I think that's good night for Freedom Rumble. And now's the time to start singing, na, 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 hey, 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 goodbye, because this team is out.
No more Miracle Run. The dream is dead for Freedom Rumble. Still alive for Metrics, but of course, the gap that Metrics has to close is just way larger than Freedom Rumble. So even that is going to be a tough task. But at least for Wheels, like you said, they're going to be happy about it. They know that the closest contender to them is officially out of contention for the 12th spot.
Yeah, and it looks like, Metrics is still going to continue to play. They're going to try to at least take over maybe Freedom Rumble at this point. I mean, that is definitely a possibility, but they need to get some more kills. And it looks like XBR are kind of skirmishing in the building. It's a little bit of chaos here as they meet up with Metrics. Metrics needs to turn this up. They need to make XBR pay as they're running right after him, and they do get a nice 2K right there, or 2 knocks to kind of start things off. They're looking for the rest of them, and they're looking to clean up XBR. Guns is all by himself, just trying to provide some support, but I think he's going to run away as he's the lone survivor of XBR.
You know, some things don't change. Last season, MCP season 1, Wheels closed out the group stage in 12th spot, and it seems like they're gonna do the same for season 2 again. You know, just barely scraping by in qualifying for the grand final. But at least they made it through. I mean, for season 1, they got 7th place in the grand finals. So there is definitely some hopes for this team, but man, if you cut it close every single time, it's gonna be a bit dangerous.
They're doing it for the audience back home, right? They're trying to make it as dramatic as possible. They realize that, hey, even if we just kind of, win 10th place and we're consistent, it's just not any fun for the viewer. So we're going to make it as fun as possible by just kind of hanging on a thread, so to speak, and just kind of sneak our way into the 12th spot.
And I just realized that, for the league stage of season 1, the team, Blacklist International, before they were known as Blacklist, they were known as Baby Argon, and they closed out the league stage in first place with 500 points. Look at our first place right now. SAF currently sitting with 567 points. This is a record-breaking total score for the league stage, and it's not even done yet, so it can definitely go higher. I mean, SAF, they're playing this B versus C, so theoretically, it should be an easier matchup for them. But after yesterday, I can't confidently say that anymore. SAF, they're just not looking good.
Yeah. But, you're talking about record day, but hey, PXG Radicals, 5 points behind, right? I think that's a testament to both of these teams. The fact that also that in the second half, we really didn't have that 18th team, right? So there was less kills on the map, so to speak. I mean, yeah, you have a higher chance of getting more placement points, but, you're getting... these teams are really able to get those kills. I mean, they're tied right now in kill scores. They have 262 kills apiece.
And just a statement from PSG Radicals. The Forestman Expert will have to deal with Do Easy, and it is not a simple task at all. Especially on Kalahari, when the enemy team has the high ground, you have to get those really sharp shots in. And Goku, he's trying to make it work, but Do Easy just slowly sending members downhill just to get as close as possible to Forestman Expert and Baez and Jembao. They're already on ground level, so Forestman Expert have to be really careful.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the thing, is that yes, you're kind of in a standstill, you're not really able to continue on, but all this gunfire is going to attract, the other vultures on the team, right? Do Easy are looking to make the push here. 4X-Men Expert are all the way in the back, but Do Easy trying to get something happening, trying to force the initiative, so to speak. The circle is going to be closing in on them at this point, so I think they do need to be careful of that. Do Easy, on the other hand, just looking to gatekeep and just kind of not, protect at least that side. But Goku picks up his teammate. He looks to just kind of run around to the side, but they need to make a move at some point.
And Spade gets a 2-man nade. I mean, Bias also gets 1, but the match checks out for Forestman Expert. Jembao knocks down Spade as Jembao gets brought back up. Do Easy, they're just cycling all these knockdowns, but they gotta start getting those kills. Jembao and Shai, they're both gonna get knocked down. And look at Manchai from Metrics. He's third partying, and he even stole 1 away from 4X-Men Expert. Do Easy playing a bit too aggressive, and they're about to get punished. Goku once more gets knocked down for the 3rd time in a row, but his buddies are there to bring him back up. It's down to Bias and Ipan, and I'm not sure if they can do this. They walked out of the
grenade.
circle. The grenade got a bit off of Spade, but I think Forestman Expert got this in the bag. There's nothing much Too Easy can do.
Yeah, there's nothing at this point. The only thing is the circle. 4X-Men Expert are now have to just rush out. They have to get into the circle as quickly as possible. MTX, man's high, getting some shots in. Bayats is looking to go down. He just needs to reload the gun. He does get the kill. He eliminates Too Easy. Nice shot there by man's high.
I'm just surprised that Too Easy didn't gatekeep. Instead, they decided to just push out of the safe zone. And the moment the circle moves away, Too Easy are like, crap, now we have to make something happen. They go in for the push, they get wiped out. But look at Metrics. I mean, Manchai in the best possible position. These guys are opportunists, and Metrics already have 7 kills in total. Make that 8 as Shuffy puts one on the board. Manchai himself has 6 kills. So maybe the miracle run might just happen. I mean, Metrics, they're putting a lot of numbers up on the board.
Yeah, this is a I mean, this is a, I mean, Mansai is literally just trying to carry the team. He's saying, we need points, get on my back, guys, because we're going to look to go here. And they're trying to do I mean, they did a great job of gatekeeping there, but they're going to look to go in further at this point. But Umbrella Reborn, this is another one. Argon Malaysia, the team that just won 2 booyahs in a row, they get eliminated 8th. And Umbrella Reborn just trying to just get some pot shots in. I don't think they're actually going in anything. There's a monster truck, but I don't think anybody wants to ride in that Deathmobile.
At least not for now. But I mean, Argon and White got knocked down in 8th place. But the good news is they all died to the blue zone. So no points for anyone who is trying to look for those extra scraps. Unfortunately, for those guys, they're not going to get anything. Argon and White, pretty sure they're happy with just dying to the blue zone. Zimnu with a sharp shot, actually out-sniping for Biz. Something that we did not expect at all. I mean, they've already lost McRory, and ITX are about to go for the rush. As Superior Self Forces, they've been trying to play safe for so many rounds and so many play days that it feels like they've lost that fire within them. They're not as aggressive, they're not as clean as they used to be, which is why we see all these teams just taking the fight straight to the Kings, and ITX, they're about to take them out.
Yeah, Daymoon there was covering the window. He saw literally 4 members of Tactical Intex running right at them. And just like I do with my responsibilities, I throw up a glue wall and hopefully just that will block it out. But unfortunately, that's not the case. As Tactical Intex do find them in the building. They want the kills of SAF, realizing that they're all there.
What?
He's trying to go in. Zibnu gets the nice little knock there. They're going to continue to rush in. Forbids is knocked in as well, and Tactical Intex has eliminated SAF.
I mean, Zimnu, he shows up from behind. I bet SAF did not expect that at all. They turned around and they were like, why is this guy shooting at us? Oh, wait, it's ITX. Umbrella Reborn gets knocked out by Metrics. I believe that is their 10th point of the round, as Monarch, he is desperately trying to run away, but Zipnu's not going to let it happen. He runs away from Metrics, but straight into ITX. Zipnu gets himself a triple kill, and Metrics with the double digit in terms of frags is doing super well. I mean, we have 4 teams left. If they get a booyah, maybe that dream is going to be kept alive as Time 64 let's get a nail to Nio, but ITX able to bring their buddies back up, but they also have to deal with this blue zone.
Metrics is 38 points behind Woos. This is setting up for the most dramatic finish in terms of MCP, right? If you've got the 10 kills or whatever that they have, if they get the booyah, I mean, we're talking, this is definitely within stone throw. They need to continue on what they've been doing. They've done a great job. They're getting more kills here, just kind of racking it up. They're actually taking the fight to Tactical Intex, who have been on Fuego, as this team is the 4th place team. Zest Squad gets eliminated here. Tactical Intex is trying to fire in as much as possible, but Metrics is a terror right now as they're looking to destroy them right now.
Metrics Xbox to be knocked out by Shooks and Zipnu, so at least ITX are showing some signs of resistance. There is a grenade launcher on the side of Metrics. I'm not sure who has it. This is going to be close though. It's going to be a 3-way fight. 2 members on each team. Metrics in the worst possible spot. They have to cross that freeway straight into AKO Legend, but ITX, they also have to deal with the blue zone. That nade's gonna fly through. Mantai blocks it with the glue wall, but now they have to outrun the blue zone. This is gonna be the final circle as ITX not able to tank too much of it. Nada's getting knocked down. They're all running for the center. Tactical Intex gets knocked out, but Deco's whiffed from the grave. That nade takes out the last member of Metrics, but it does not matter because AKO got knocked out first. Metrics, they die a painful death, but they get the booyah, a miracle round for MTX.
Oh my gosh, they totally need this. I have goosebumps from that one. The fact that they were like, we have to get kills, we have to get booyah, you must tick these boxes to pass go, collect $200, and it looks like they did it. And what is it? The potato chips and the drink right there, or the chili sauce. This is what's powering Metrics up right now. They really needed that to make sure that they have a chance. What an amazing round by Metrics. The fact that they have a chance, they are definitely within arm's length of Woos. Woos right now must be shaking in their boots.
Yeah, unbelievable round from Metrics. They had to do it this way, right? They had to wait until the second last round to pull out kind of one of the most miraculous performance, but it's not over yet. I mean, Will still has 2 rounds to play. They're just chilling and watching, you know, the 3rd and 4th match. Even though if Metrics overtakes them, their fate is still in Will's hands. But let's bring back our host, because I'm sure Metrics deserves a bit more compliment from both Daniely and IC Baby 1-2. Let's get them back on the broadcast.
I think they're literally on their snack game today.
They've been gobbling up on everything in that sense. And my goodness, like Matrix pulled out one of the sickest run I've seen. They played, I would say, from a position that seemed almost near impossible to win, considering how far away they were from the zone. They found these little cracks and opportunities, you know, baiting out fights, waiting for opportunities, slowly inch away the next zone. And by the time everyone was kind of taking each other out, they found an opening, they pushed it, and they got the booyah. It might be luck, it might be skill, but this next upcoming match for them is going to be one of the crucial ones. They've got to score another booyah if they want to jeopardize the View's position as of yet.
So do we know the numbers for the gap between Metrics and Woos?
It was about 30 points before this game, but now with this booyah, they could have closed it about around maybe 10 points ish. So
yeah, actually, it's 12.
12
points.
12 points.
That will be the precise one, I guess.
Whew, crazy.
That's gonna be a really, really long ride. But nevertheless, a very unpopular story that we didn't exactly see too much here is gonna be tactical index. Considering that how well they've been consistent as well, they are about 30 points behind FastKillMY, and I feels like they are trying to contest for the number 3 spots for themselves. AKO Legend also looking to take down tactical index. So just based on that map, it was literally a battle between the middle of the pack trying to get themselves better placements for that prize pool and the money.
Yeah, it definitely seems so. I think Tactical Index did a great job. If they did not stop Metrics towards the very end, I think Metrics would have gotten way more points than they did, right? That was pretty good for ITX. Sure, Metrics got the booyah, but most of the guys towards the end died to blue zones anyway, so it didn't really matter too much. I mean, AKO got a free point just because of that from the Grave Nade. But still, I think Metrics had an incredible round. And it all started off with Do Easy, going for the push onto Prizeman Expert, and both those teams ended up getting shot down by Metrics.
Yeah, I know we've been hyping up about Freedom Rumble for over a long time. It feels like Do Easy strategy was just literally, you know, looking for Freedom Rumble and just take them out. And it's pretty much happened in the past 3 games, especially for Do Easy. It's a very dirty strategy, but, you know, all is fair in a competition here, and you can technically kind of grieve their way through. So I must say, Do Easy, they're doing a very dirty tactic, but Freedom Rumble is just having one of the roughest games, especially in D-Day. 3 games in a row haven't had a lot of success. We saw a little bit glimpse where they were able to win a couple of fights, but aside from that, their luck today is just not working out at all.
And this is a tale to tell, because for season 1, Freedom Rumble actually finished the first season in 2nd place, and now they're not even gonna make it to the grand finals. So
pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, that big difference right there.
It's actually pretty devastating. But we do need to remember, right? We've still got 1 more game to go. It's going to be on Purgatory. Now we know that some teams favor this map. What are we going to be seeing on Purgatory? Are we going to be seeing another Metrics domination?
I'm a believer. I'm a believer.
I hope so. Like, I want to see it, man. Like, I legitimately want to see something happen. Like, I've been asking for the miracle to happen since yesterday. Haven't exactly worked out for me yet. Freedom Rumble, you know, it's tough on them, but hopefully Metrics will be able to continue forward, because, like you said, 10 points away this final game, and in case Views bombs out in their remaining matches, it's really hard. It's really hard. Like, the reason why I'm at a loss of words here is to emphasize how tough of a situation Metrics needs to overcome right now, and the tensity between both Views and Freedom Rumble, and Metrics is about to happen in this upcoming few matches.
Yeah, I mean, Metrics have lesser control of their fate than Wheels does, right? Even if Metrics has an amazing round, Wheels has 2 more rounds to overtake them.
Wow, speaking of an amazing round here, 26 points in total with the Booyah, 14 kills. Do you think it's possible here, Holler? Like, Metrics, look at this. Like, they've got 26 points. Arguably one of the toughest numbers for one of the lower tier teams to actually get it. Now they've proven themselves with this 26 points. Is it possible to get another 26 points in the next game for them?
I mean, it is possible. The thing is that, Woos has not gone. They have 2 more matches, right? So they can see exactly how many points they need to get. So it's going to be difficult for them. Now, if Metrics has another 26 or whatever, you're going to put a lot of pressure on Woos. I think that's going to be a good one. But Bloody Head is only 9 points away from Woos right now. And this is a 359 versus the 350 of Woos. That's one storyline that we need to keep track of. The second one is going to be Argon Malaysia. Yes, we've gotten 2 Booyahs from them, but they only have a 2-point lead of Do Easy. Not the end of the world, but the thing is that 7th, 8th, 9th, they do get different money in terms of prize payout, so they want to end up finishing strong. The other one, of course, is going to be SAF versus PXG Radicals. That 5-point lead is now turned into 10 with 1 more match to go. We're going to see if PXG can do it and maybe prove, Icy Baby 1-2 wrong, or is it going to be Husky and myself, who I think that, PXG are the way to go. And I'm just going to be happy to see Icy Baby cry because he's going to be wrong at the end of the day.
Oh, you big bad meanie.
Shots fired.
Yeah, let's go. I'm down for it. But as of yet here, you can see Danny is so eager to be the generous woman that she is. She's going to be giving away codes for you guys who is tuning in with us. Thank you guys for tuning in and also enjoying yourselves with this MCP Majors Leagues. Claim the code right now before it's gone. It is only available until the end of stream, so better start sharing the stream, let your friends know, claim the codes right now before it's gone. As soon as I say it, it's gonna be gone. But yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, okay, it's gone, magic, a little bit late, I'm a little bit slow at the uptake. It might be the internet, it might be just me, but of course I know you guys are excited to see what is gonna be up here. Next match, Purgatory, the remaining 3 more matches here in the MCP League for the final days is going to be on its way. And I hope you guys enjoy yourself, because we have 2 amazing casters. Holler, Husky, take it away.
Thank you, Icy Baby and Danley. We're going to go into match 4, Purgatory. This is going to be B versus C. Argon Malaysia, Bloody Head, Do Easy, Freedom Rumble, Metrics, all of these guys. And of course, SAF, not to be, left out in that. But Group B, this is the big one. We will know how the bracket is going to play out just by this bracket alone, by this match. Metrics, do or die. Do they have it? Can they actually clean up, and can they catch up to Woos? We're going to have to find out. They have a 12-point differential. They need to ensure that they do. Metrics, are you on the hype train, Husky, or not?
I am on the hype train, and I am going to take it a step further and say if Metrics somehow overtakes Bloody Head by the end of this round, they are guaranteed playoffs. But to catch up to Bloody Head, they need 21 points, and to overtake Bloody Head in terms of tiebreaker, I don't think it's possible because they have lesser placement points. So they need to overtake Bloody Head and not tie with them. That's 22 points. So a Booyah and 10 kills. And that is the event that Bloody Head bombs out in 12th place. A lot to ask for. But the simpler way is to overtake Wheels and hope that Wheels have a horrendous final 2 rounds. And in any case, Metrics only have limited control of their destiny, but it's better than none.
Yes, yeah. And all you need is just that chance, right? Just get yourself in that potential. All you need to do is make sure that you're, above Woos at least going in. Maybe Woos bombs out later, but again, I think that you're going to see a difference in strategy of what Woos do. Probably will play safer, look for those placement points more than those riskier kills, in terms of trying to get those team fights. I think that's going to be a little bit different. But hey, if Metrics has another monster game, they get, 14 or so kills like they did last time, plus the Booyah, Woos have got to be worried. So this is going to be the big thing where we need to make sure that whatever happens on this map, we keep our eyes on Metrics so that we can see exactly what's going to happen with that 12th position.
And the round is going to start off in Central with both Umbrella Reborn and Cannot Brain once more sharing the same drop zone. They have been doing this ever since the first week of League Stage, because somehow these two end up getting grouped in the same group for the second half of the league as well. And they have been going at each other's throats for the longest time ever. So there's always there's this weird trend, right? We all thought that the teams in the bottom half of the bracket are going to be free food for the Apex Predators, but they take each other out. So there's a food chain.
Yeah. And, I think just a thought that came to my mind, Bloody Head, who are kind of, dropping, so to speak, with Woos and Metrics, if there is a race for 12th and it ends up going to tiebreakers, Bloody Head is going to be actually knocked out because they have 0 booyahs.
Right. Oh boy, that is another thing that we have to consider. So, I mean, if you put it in that way, I think Metrics, as long as they tie with Bloody Head, they won. They would just win the tiebreaker hands down. I mean, Bloody Head, they came so close. They came so close to qualifying. They did not make it in Season 1. In fact, they were the worst team in Season 1. And now in Season 2, they made it. I think their best was 9th or 10th place. They got slowly pushed down. And to be this close once more to getting eliminated from the grand finals is not a good feeling for Bloody Head.
Yeah, and mind you, this is both of their last games, Bloody Head and Metrics. If Metrics can overcome this 20-point lead, 21-point lead, or even tie them, as you said, then they would actually surpass Bloody Head. As crazy as that sounds, that scenario could happen. Woos would be out of it. I mean, yeah, they could be guaranteed. I mean, they could see this, what happens in terms of the 5th and 6th match, but we're going to have to find out. Umbrella Reborn doing a couple kills right there, but with IPAN just taking out a couple people.
Cannot Brain down to just 2 remaining survivors. Let's see with, I think, for Umbrella Reborn, Cannot Brain. Yeah, Umbrella Reborn is going to try and hunt them down. Well, we have someone from Do Easy just touching down on the central island, but I don't think it's going to be making any moves. It's just him and him alone. But UMB, they're going to try and flush out Cannot Brain.
Yeah, well, Umbrella Reborn still, I mean, they're technically mathematically eliminated on this one, but they're just going to look to just kind of make a name for themselves. Just have everybody respect them more than anything else. But they're in a bit of a firefight with Cannot Brain right now. Their Error's on the high ground. Oh, nice grenade. And that actually gets the kill. Triple kill from iPants. Nice grenade.
And suddenly the tables kind of turn a bit, but doesn't really matter too much. At the end of the day, it is still UMB coming out on top. SAF finally making a move. They are near Forestman Expert, but it seems like SAF, they're going to continue to play just that very passive game just so that they maintain that first spot. And hopefully by the end of the group stage, 2 more rounds for PSG Radicals coming up. This is SAF's last round to widen the lead, and afterwards everything will be in the hands of PSG. So SAF is going to play it safe.
They play it safe, but a 10-point lead, and that's it. And PXG have been on fire today. They've gotten a decent amount of kills. They've got, they've done pretty well. I don't think they've gotten any booyahs or anything like that, but they've gotten just so many kills. I think SAF need to be a bit more aggressive. I think they're going to start, they're going to be a little upset with themselves later on when I feel like PXG turn it up, and they're going to see that, hey, they probably should have been a little bit more aggressive.
And SAF, they did not get any kills in the last round as well. So the kill score is still the same for both teams. 262 is the number. SAF leading by 10 points, and those 10 points come from their placement scores. But I think the one point that our host brought up was SAF are just a bit more consistent in terms of placements, right? They have 2 less booyahs compared to PSG Radicals, but they're still a hit. That lead can easily be cut down because PSG Radicals just needs to have a good game and they will overtake SAF. Umbrella Reborn runs straight into Do Easy at Central, and Do Easy, they actually infiltrate a Central, so very interesting maneuver, but I think Umbrella Reborn is going to have a tough fight ahead of them.
Yeah, and okay, one thing on SAF, this is a team that actually has the highest number of kills in a day. That was, I think it was play day 4 with 39 kills. Their average for every single play day is about 23.5. I don't know what is happening with 2 SAF. They become lovers, not killers, because they average, they had, 3 kills in play day 10, 6 kills in play day 11. And, if they've got a donut today, this is not a good day for SAF.
Yeah, that is going to be another record that SAF wish that they did not have under the belt, right? Kind of having the best average performance to just average just because they had a horrendous play day at 11. Mishai is gonna bleed out. Do easy should be able to make quick work of UMB. At least they've gotten 3 kills and really Reborn left with just 1 guy. And SAF, they are near the territory of AKO Legends and they have that high ground. But you can see that McCrory, he's already getting shot. And in fact, it seems like SAF have no intention to take this fight.
Triple kill.
Oh, Zet Squad eliminated there. Nice triple kill by Spade. Just be able to just kind of take them out there. But Do Easy is 2 points behind Argon Malaysia. It is something to talk about because the fact that 789 prize pool, I think it's 800 USD, that is one big section, right? If you get 10th place, you're not going to get that extra $200. So this is what they're fighting for. They're trying to make it a competitive, especially at the end. This is the last day for them, so they need to finish strong. Do Easy and Argon Malaysia, last game for them today.
This is going to be very important for these 2 teams at least. Just to get the placement points. I mean, Do Easy already got 3. Argon and Malaysia have not shown up much. Their last round, they ended up in 8th place, but most of them died to the blue zone, so no points for any other teams either way. Freedom Rumble tossing a lot of nades at ITX, and this is not looking good for Tactical Intex, so they're out in the open, and you can see they're trying to backtrack with the help of those blue walls, and they so far have been able to avoid Freedom Rumble, and in fact, Shook just turns around and knocks Uppam down onto the ground. ITX somehow still managing to challenge Freedom Rumble despite being at a disadvantage.
Yeah, this is not a great space. Yes, it's elevation, but it is completely wide out in the open. Yes, it's glue walls galore, but something they need to be careful about. Freedom Rumble, I think they're trying to finish strong. I mean, it's going to have to come down to that. But where is Metrics? They need to be in the firefight. They need to be getting those kills. They have no time to just let Lady Luck on, let it come down to Lady Luck. Because at the end of the day, they need those points. They are behind. They need to make sure that they're in. 12 points behind Woos, 21 behind points behind Bloody Head. And Bloody Head right now getting some kills, so that lead will further increase.
Yeah, and Metrics, maybe the idea is to play safe, because they don't know the exact numbers, but from what we can see, they need to be involved in those fights. Like you said, those grenade launchers are flying through. I mean, Xbot's gonna get the first one for his team, but Metrics needs to push this. It is do or die. So regardless of the result, they have to give it a shot. They only got one as Freedom Rumble gets knocked out, but they need more than that. They need to keep running at their enemies and take those fights, because in this position that they're in, if they get the kills, great. But if they don't, they will not have any chance at all.
Bloody Head increased the lead to 23 points. I mean, placement points completely aside, we don't know the end of that. And right now, it's just as many kills as you can, right? Bloody Head just trying to do what they can in the sense of just kind of owning this hill, making sure that they're at at least the outside of that circle. They are staying alive. But Mark, with a nice snipe shot onto Trix, this is going to start things off. Tactical Intex need to figure something out.
And we did see Tactical Intex on the western side of the map. They were on the radar for a while, but I think they rotated away. And I think this passive playstyle might really cost them any chance of a miracle. McRory is going to take on Jabat, but Jabat throws out the glue wall just in time. McRory has no point of entry. He does see Jabat through the cracks and takes him out. But thankfully for Forex-Man Expert, there's a secondary member there to bring him back up. And backup is coming. The cavalry will arrive, and McRory gets turned on, and Goku will finish him off.
Oh, McCrory went to the well too many times. The first time he got a knock, thought he could get the second one, didn't realize that the entire team was there by 4X-Men Expert right there. And he tried to go back in, unfortunately not the case, and McCrory will be eliminated. That's fine. He gets to go home and rest up, at least for the grand finals, which will be coming up in a couple of weeks. 4X-Men Expert, 4 kills. This is a pretty good start to them dealing with it, but SAF still managed to, stay alive throughout all of this. Yes, they have a decent number of members, but man, that team is spread throughout. I don't know what SAF's issue right now is.
They're not even going to bother playing the high ground. In fact, they are just beelining farther into the safe zone just to make sure that they get to play the placements. Do easy by sneaking up this little hill, and he does see Rosso, I think, in the trailer. He has that nade propped out, and it's going to be Rosso +1 and Deco's in that trailer. Thankfully, there is a glue wall being tossed out. AKO Legends still staying alive as the supply crate drops right in front of everyone. This is going to be an interesting fight, but Taken has his own nade. That one is going to fly through, but completely misses.
Oh, Bayets just threw 3 grenades, just didn't really prime them properly or toss them, in the right spot. I mean, he knows exactly where they are, but just not being able to, he was kind of throwing it in the same spot. And actually, the grenades were exploding up in the air above the building more than anything else. Didn't really do any sort of damage. He's got another one. He's going to try to go for maybe a lucky one. He actually stays alive himself. He has to use Time Turner just because he's a little bit scared and he realizes he's out in the open. He's going to back up and regroup with the team.
Unfortunately for Do Easy, the attempt is not going to bear any fruit. You see metrics on the radar. They are hanging out on the northern side of Brasilia. There's not much teams nearby, but this circle is going to force their hands. Because look at metrics. They're already making their move. So they will certainly run into enemy teams, but this is where they have to really pull out all the stops. Win every single gunfight by hook or by crook. Metrics have to stay alive.
Have to stay alive. They have to get the kills. That's the biggest thing. And they're, at the end of the day, we're like, okay, we don't know where everybody is. We're just going to go in the center. We're going to figure out, something is going to happen. The circles are going to be hopefully to our favor. We're going to get to it. But now Umbrella iPants hiding for his life. He's got 3 kills. He's just hiding on the edge of the circle here. And I think he's just going to kind of wait passively right now. He's just going to try to get some sort of pick off when he can. But Safik is finally in the action, realizes that AKO are nearby. He does get a nice knock onto Decos. Nice shot there. But this is from downtown. Those glue walls are providing a decent amount of cover.
Yeah, they need to get the confirmed kills. Knockdowns will not cut it for Metrics. They are able to cut off the rotation for AKO Legends, but the team closer to them is Forex-Man Expert. So if Forex-Man Expert claims those kills, all the effort that Metrics put in will be for naught. So Metrics, sure they're in the safe zone, sure they have distance, they have a good amount of distance between them and Forex-Man Expert, but this is not the time to play safe. Metrics again needs to get a couple of shots in. Nga is in the process of Forex-Man Expert, and they're starting to rack up all of those numbers, and this is bad news for Metrics. The kills that they can get are slowly decreasing. Metrics, they hear the gunshots, but they're not making a move just yet.
Forex-Man Expert 8th place. They have a chance to surpass Almighty, who are 2 points ahead of them, and another 2 points ahead of them is Blacklist International. Definitely within reach of that 6th position. That will give them 1,000 USD. They want to get into that money, getting that sort of bump in, but as I say that, Maru does get knocked here. Goku's going to look to just run into the building, maybe help his friends. AKO, they smell blood, and they're going to go in, and they're going to try to take out as many as possible. They did realize that they get the knock. Goku's just trying to provide a little bit of covering fire, but he's going to have to just retreat now. Not much cover here. He's kind of stuck in on the wrong side of this fence. The glue wall is going to be used, and SAF has been eliminated. That was on the back end of this. SAF, very passive.
Yeah, and in the hands of Bloody Haze as well, so Bloody Haze in a super comfortable position in terms of points. Metric still not making a move. There's so much commotion that they would have had a chance, but with Forex-Man Expert getting taken out, we're down to 20 members left alive in this battlefield, make it 19 as UMB also hits the deck. I mean, Metrics, they will have Do Easy running at them, but it's crunch time. Metrics, they're gatekeeping Do Easy, but they need to beat them, and Do Easy, not a team to be trifled with. These guys are super aggressive and they're vicious in terms of their gunfights. So Metrics, this is their last stand.
Yeah, last stand. This is pretty much it. They're going to just duel with Do Easy. Safik gets knocked here. Do Easy are turning this one up, and they're saying nay to you. We're going to be the 10th place team right now. We're going to get into the grand finals. We're going to take this one over, and it looks like Metrics is all by himself. Tactical Intex does get eliminated. Bloody Head killed new kill leader right on that point. Bayas is looking to just fight this one out. Rin is trying to do what he can. Bloody Head, Mark is trying to turn this one up. X-Spot does get the knock onto Bayas. The glue walls are going to be used. Jembo is looking to do this, and Metric has now been eliminated. I think that is done for them.
Yeah, and that is Metrics. They're done for the league stage. Freedom Rumble also out as well. They did put up a good fight, but it was just not sufficient. Metrics not reading the situation correctly. They wanted to play safe, but fate is a cruel mistress, and they will not be able to complete that miracle run despite having a monstrous 26-point round 3. Oregon MY will lose Pedro to Nga, but thankfully there's a glue wall. Again, they're playing on this freeway, a very dangerous spot to be in. Down to the final 4 teams, there's a landmine being tossed out by me, but these guys need to jump off the railings and make it into the center. And look at this, just a 4-way fight with probably AKO Legends having the most members alive.
Yeah, and that's going to be the most. Argon Malaysia, probably worst positioning. They have no room. They're like sardines in that can, so to speak. Quadra kill by Mark. My gosh, this guy's turning it up right now. Jembo with a nice little knock onto Na. And it looks like this Do Easy is all by himself. Jembo, he's got the 5 kills. Can he carry his team?
Yeah, and he was the guy who clutched out the fight against Metrics as well with 13 HP. As Peter really wants to go for the rush, he's gonna take out Bloody Head. But can he outrun the blue zone? It seems like he cannot, because Dickos from AKO is playing that gatekeep. Again, Argon and Y in the worst possible position. Me is on his knees, but I don't think X2R has any time to bring him back up. He would just have to play for that lone survival chance. And with this, look at the state of the game, I feel like AKO has the best chance of survival. The blue zone is going to force them out of the building. They have Do Easy to deal with as Argon MY and Bloody Head both breeding side by side. Do Easy, they're going to be out in 4th place.
AKO Legend have the most amount of players alive. You know, it's X2R all by himself. Bloodyhead Mark, I believe, is on that corner. He tried to go for the flank, but no, X2R, quick on the draw, ends up killing him, and he's all by himself. AKO Legend smell the blood, and they got the scythe, and they go right at him, and it doesn't really matter, and they do secure the booyah. AKO Legend decodes with that MVP 6 kills.
Finally putting the first booyah in quite a while. I mean, AKO Legend, we all know that they are a great team, and you know they were in the season 1 of the MCP Major under a different banner, right? I mean, AKO Legend, they basically acquired this roster from season 1. I gotta check my data to see what team it is. Can't remember off the top of my head, but nonetheless, props to AKO Legend. Unfortunately, the miracle run for Metrics has also ended. Dash, just as Freedom Rumble streams. We get essentially locked in our top 12 for the grand finals. But still, let's bring back both our hosts, Dan Lee and IC Baby. Just get the final thoughts on the departure of some of these teams. Welcome back, guys.
Thank you so much
you.
For that amazing cast. And that was a pretty nerve-wracking, I would say not just nerve-wracking, heartbreaking moment, especially for Matrix fans. We were hoping for the miracle run. Unfortunately, it all came down to that 1v1 against Do Easy, and they just dropped the ball. Even though it's 5th place, hopefully with enough points they will be able to make it. But seems like the road seems to be extremely slim until we have the official scores going to be up really soon here. Danny, thoughts on this?
I mean, I'm such a negative Nancy, but I didn't really think. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I didn't think it was going to be possible for Metrics. To be able to pull out a miracle play when you really need it, it's not the ideal situation, especially if you're trying to make it to a final stage. You ideally want to be able to nail that consistency and be in a safe spot so that during the last final moments of the game, you're not sitting there thinking, I wish we could have played better. You'd be thinking, okay, what do we do to plan going into the final stage? So it's unfortunate for Metrics. It's just the team bloomed far too late. And I think that is the case with some teams. Like they spend so much time during the league stage, and then they only bloom during the final weeks where they should have peaked during the midsection of. And so at least they gave themselves a little bit of a buffer coming into these final weeks. So it's unfortunate that we're not going to be seeing Metrics. I think at this point we can all agree Freedom Rumble are also practically out of the running for making it to the final stage. I think at this rate we're looking at our top 12 teams now. I don't think there's any way a team can slip through anymore.
Yeah, not at all. And I think it's great for the members of AKO Legend, because for MCP Season 1, they play under the banner of Legend Rumble, and they did not qualify for the Grand Final. So congratulations to them. This is their first Grand Finals appearance in the MCP Major under the banner of AKO Legend. They just got that booyah. So I think for these players, their hard work definitely paid off.
Agreed, but let's take a look towards the highlights a little bit more. We saw a couple of scuffles here and there between the bottom and the frags. Was pretty much having a little bit of fun. We saw a couple of intense match, but one of the ones that I wanted to talk about was literally MTX. They were put in a very difficult spot. I think the casters, you guys also mentioned the fact that they needed those kills. They put themselves in a position where they were trying to poke against AKO as well as Forex Man. unfortunately, the poke was really annoying. Unfortunately, say it didn't do enough damage for them to salvage kills because while in the midst of that confusion, they were literally third-partied by Do Easy. So that was just a very, very sad moment coming from them.
Yeah. In fact, I honestly think if they took out Do Easy, no matter how many members are left alive by the end of it, they will have a really great chance because they closed out. I don't think they got any kills. But even if they did, it was not enough. They needed to beat against Do Easy. That was the first step to that miracle run. But Do Easy shut that dream down. So Metrics, I think when we look at the final score later on, they will cut it really close to wheels. But because they lost against Do Easy, it was not sufficient.
Yeah, it's just so unfortunate. Let's take a look at the scores as of yet here. AKO Legend, they whipped themselves the whopping 20 bomb points there. Trying to keep Chase into the 4th place, trying to take Tactical Intex down with them. Hopefully, they will be able to do so by the end of today. Not Bloody Head going to be pulling the lead once again with 15 points. That is going to be a huge, I would say, upset or in this case, offset for maybe Metrics to actually pull in through. I don't know. It seems like they don't have enough points to actually make it top 12. Danny.
I think the craziest thing for this one, sorry, Danny,
Yeah.
but Argon Malaysia, they actually scored 1 point less than Do Easy. They had a 2-point lead onto Do Easy. Argon Malaysia secures themselves the 9th position, which is a different block of prize money. They're going to get 800 USD for the troubles. This is a team that went from 18th place, 3 points day 1, to literally 9th place in the league. So Argon Malaysia, nothing but props for these guys. These guys have continued to rise. Do Easy was hot on the tails. Unfortunately, 1 point away, and they're going to end up in 10th, which is going to put them into 600 USD.
And then I think another thing we got to talk about, right? SAF, terrible round. So I'm very sure that PXG Radicals, they're in a very good position to dethrone the Kings. I am very concerned. I think if you're SAF, you're probably thinking, oh God, guys, where did we screw up? Like, what's happened? Because up until this point, I think everyone, including the audience, would have to agree that we all expected SAF to play better during these final weeks, but it just seems like something had gone completely wrong. Like, what is it that has actually just disassembled SAF's power that they had during the beginning of the season?
I really am not sure what is going through their minds right now, but we can kind of see, right, from the individual performance of the team, they were not winning fights. They are playing really passive. Maybe in their minds, if you get the booyah, the kills will come afterwards. You will still get a lot of points. But the fact that I think these poor performances that has been repetitive really impacted them in a way where they felt less confident, right? They're losing fights to ITX, they're getting ran over by PXG Radicals. They're just not playing like the SAF we knew. I mean, in fact, for the first 5 weeks, all of us were just talking about welcome to MCP Major Season 2, day 10. This is the fight for the 2nd place. Not anymore. This is actually the fight for the 1st place. Somehow, PXG Radicals reignited that whole storyline. And SAF, I think they probably only have themselves to blame for this.
Yeah, it's just really, really unfortunate. I was hoping that SFF, they would have ignited that spark again. But this past 2 days has been very, very lackluster coming from them, which is very unfortunate. However, what is going to be fortunate for you guys is you guys watching the stream as of now. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is going to be the codes for you guys to redeem right down below. The winter box is up for grabs right now. Share it to your friends. Claim it before it's gone. It is only valid until the end of the stream.
Okay, so while everyone's claiming their goodies, their gifts, we've got to talk about the next groupings because we've just finished up B. B is done for today. There is absolutely no way that teams in Group B can get points anymore. Now it's going to be up to Group A and C to try and claim their points. So, of course, we're watching PXG Radicals. They're going to be trying to take that throne away from SAF. Are there any other teams that we should be looking forward to in Group A versus C before we go for a break?
We need to go watch out for Fast Kill Malaysia and Tactical Intex. Both of these teams have 461 points. They're tied, literally tied. I mean, it comes down to, if there's going to be a tiebreaker, we're going to look at Booyahs, which Fast Kill does have that edge. But hey, this is when you have two teams that are fighting for literally 3rd place, this is going to be a team to watch.
Okay. Any teams for you, Husky, or should we go for a break?
I mean, Hall basically mentioned what I wanted to say. I mean, I would include AKO Legends.
Sorry.
I would include AKO Legends in that running because they are just 4 points behind ITX and Fast Game MY, so they will have a good shot at it as well.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to go for a quick break, and once we return, we'll jump right into our final matchup of the day, our final 2 games of the group stage. It's Groups A versus C. We'll see you after this.
Hey, yo, Moco.
What up, Shiro?
It's about that time.
Let's get 'em. Max out. I'm the one that they ask about. Money team better come with your racks out. Stadium packed out, crowd going crazy. Queen of this here, I ain't leaving my chair. Money green high heels, I make them shiver. Post up, post off, and I deliver. I'm gold, you glitter. They old and bitter, I'ma fight for it. Take it to the next level, ride like a bike pedal. Hotter than a kettle on fire. Stand back and admire. Winning this game and I'm taking the empire. Time to start the show, ready now, fire. Revolution, I'm here with the solution. Top contender, I'm the one they keep choosing. If it ain't me, I'ma need you to tell me who then. Fiction time, kick 'em out and I'm a moving. Who want it? You want it, let's get it. Come with the ambush, now they saying forget it. Start at the beginning, you'll be done in like a minute. I don't have no limit, all I know is winning.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you. I've been here before, I have felt this. This eternal war, I was dealt this. A true rebel in arms, I put pebble to palm and dig deep. I'm the heartbeat for the helpless. Delve deeper, the grim reaper, the phlegm leaker, limb breacher, keeping the fire aiming at them people. And I ain't about to worry about a nemesis. Better risk it all. I don't start, but I finish this. Go to battle with adversaries, have them carried away when they waving that flag. I take it to the max and go round after round, round up the pound. Soon as I get done with that, light another match. Set a blaze to the maze full of competitors. My instincts are in sync, my only weapon, bruh. And I ain't backing down, I ain't giving up. They wanna tear it down, I'ma build it up. Up in the clouds is where I wanna land. Survival of the fittest, I ain't running, man. That's the sound of the victory. After it's all done, you'll remember me.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
Welcome back to the MCP Majors Season 2. Group B have concluded their matches for the group stage, and now we have 2 matches remaining for teams in Groups A versus C. Now, Icy Baby, we've got a couple teams that we do need to keep an eye out for. PXG Radicals trying to contest for that first place on the groups, and it's within arm's reach. And you said that SAF are going to be able to keep their lead. Do you still have that same opinion?
I don't know. Based on their previous games, it feels just extremely unfortunate. But nevertheless, let's take a look at the overall standings, give you guys a little bit more insights. Yeah, I was hoping SAF they will be able to pull a big one in the previous 2 rounds. But unfortunately, they were just very, very lackluster. They were getting picked off time and time again. And now, despite the lead here, it's about 13 points of a lead compared to PXG Radicals, which can easily be shattered by PXG Radicals by taking, 2 top 5 finishes, which is still a very difficult task. So right now, the control is going to be in PXG Radicals' hands in this final 2 matches. So we are going to be seeing, are we going to see a potential new king coming in towards the MCP Majors League by the end of today? But besides also PSG Radicals, we are also going to be paying attention towards Fast QMY, Tactical Intex, as well as AKO Legends. Is there going to be a difference between 3rd, 4th, and 5th place here, Danny?
I mean, we could see changes quite easily just because these teams are, I think 4 points apart, AKO Legends from Tactical and Fast Kill. So we could be seeing a little bit of a swapperoo, excuse me, with these teams. But again, it's going to come down to performance. Personally, I don't think we're going to be seeing AKO Legends move. Simply speaking, I don't know. I have this tingly feeling, and especially when it comes to AKO Legends, generally it's correct. But then again, this is like, I don't know, this is some mystical force out there that's telling me that they're going to have a really tough game. I could be wrong, and I do want to be wrong, because I have been rooting for AKO to actually finish top 3, but hey,
Hey, Danny, for as long as I knew you, you've been an AKO fan since season 1, so it makes a lot of sense. It's okay. But I'm an Argon fan too. But speaking of Argon, Argon MY, they have been in 9 plays, they're 3-9-5, and the ones that are going to be contesting for 9 plays, well, Holler did bring up a very good point. Prizes up with 9 plays here is going to be very much affected, especially coming from bottom side. Do easy bloody hit. Views can offset it as well. Views, arguably one of the gatekeepers, and I must say that the official results are out, metrics are out as well. 13 plays with only 4 points away. But Views, like Husky said, they can literally take a back seat, throw the remaining games, and they'll still make it in towards the finals.
So we've got a couple matchups to look out for. So 1st to 2nd, 3rd to 5th, and hell, we can even look at 6th to 8th, right? Like 4X-Men, Blacklist, and Almighty, these 3 are also competing for spots against each other. So we could see a couple of changes going around. But again, it depends on performance, and especially with this grouping, it's really easy to finish Group A and C with a big fat 0 after the rounds, just because there are so many teams on the upper end of the brackets in these 2 groups alone.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And on top of it all, what was really unfortunate is that Bloody Hit, they did not secure a single booyah the entire league.
Oh, look, they didn't need to, okay?
And they didn't even need booyahs to actually make it a top 12. And which begs the question, right? How did Metrics not make it? Like, they've got 5 booyahs. It just tells you a lot that in this league stages, winning the booyah is just not enough. You gotta be consistent every single match. Consistency is key regardless of whatever you're doing. Competition, work as a commentator, as being a beautiful mom recently, Danielle, being consistent, hustling his way through. I don't know. I just want to.
I have no idea how that came into this discussion point. Okay.
But yeah, that's the thing, right? Like it's just unfortunate that we will have to say goodbye to Freedom Rumble and Metrics. But what I do know, I am looking forward to see whether or not are we going to see a New Kings or Supreme Assault Forces going to be having it here. Then any final words before we set the boats up to sail?
I guess all I have to say is the battle rage is on. First match for this series is about ready to begin, so we'll throw it over to Hauler and Husky. Take it away for our first match for A versus C.
Oh man, I just love the death stare that Danielle gave Icy Baby. That is priceless. Someone need to clip that and make it a WhatsApp sticker or something. But yes, it's me and Holland once more for the final 2 rounds of the day. The main question is, can PSG Radicals overtake SAF? And the secondary question, who is gonna end up in 3rd place by the end of things? Holland, what do you think?
I think it's going to be very interesting. I think Danielle did a good job in terms of breaking it down. But, just to kind of set the stage here, we're looking at the top 8. All of these guys are guaranteed. Right now, it's just about fighting for that positioning that you want to get in terms of the final payout that you get for the league standings. Pretty important stuff. 1 and 2, Supreme Assault Forces, PXG. It's only a 13-point differential. Something to watch there. The second one is going to be 3rd through 5th. Fast Kill Malaysia, Tactical Intex, AKO Legend. There's literally a 4-point differential between those 3 teams. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. AKO Legends is part of that one as well. But 4X-Men Expert, Blacklist International, Almighty. This is, again, another 4-point differential that they need to look into as we go into Kalahari. We're going to find out who the true winners are. We're going to stop talking about those losers, the people that can't even get in the top 12. Like, those guys are done, right? Now it's Kalahari. Let's figure out who is the big dog.
Yeah, and it has been a super close group stage, but all good things come to an end. Now we have locked in the 12 finalists. It's all just for the bragging rights and a little bit of extra cash prize by the end of the league stage. And this is this is good news for the Philippine scene because all of the Filipino teams have qualified for playoffs. Now, in last seasons, teams like Bloody Head didn't make it, but even Bloody Head now, they've made it. After one long season, all the hard work paid off. Even though they ended the league with no booyah, they qualified. Wheels once more, just like season 1, barely made it in 12th place. But what matters is they get to play in the grand finals.
That is actually an interesting fact. Yeah, you bringing that up right there. Like I totally didn't even think of that, but you're absolutely right in the sense that hey, all the Filipino teams made it. So what is it about it? Is it the environment that they play in? Is it the food? Is it the chips? Is it the Dettol that I saw? Like what exactly is making these teams just end up securing themselves a spot in the grand finals?
And I think this is a big moment, right, for these teams and also for the Philippine seats in general. I think Almighty as well, they qualify. I mean, they are in 8th place, so there's almost no way they will be knocked out. In fact, when most of the members were still playing under the banner of Divinity, they also finished season 1 in 8th place. So a lot of repeating storylines, a lot of repeating results from more than half a year ago. But I guess that's how it is, right? At least they're consistent in that placements.
Mm-hmm. And I think the teams are going to be happy, right? In the sense that, like, this is a huge weight off your shoulders, and realizing that, like Woo's 12th place, they barely got in the sense that Metrics was actually 4 points behind them. Yes, they have 2 more matches, but, knowing that you're guaranteed in the spot is going to take a lot of the pressure off. Right now, it's just about, I don't think that you could really make a, jump into 9th, 10th, 11th at this point. So Woo's is kind of like, hey, we can just take this one easy. Let's just get as many kills as we can. Just do it for the highlight reel more than anything else. But let's prepare ourselves. Let's look at this as practice for the grand finals, because literally I'm going to be seeing a good number of these teams in that grand finals.
And I think these last 2 rounds we probably won't be seeing, too much of a bloodbath, at least for the teams that are not really contesting for placements. I would say maybe Wheels, they won't be too pressured because they know that they can't really alter the standings too much since they're in 12th place. But for everyone else, they still have a chance to increase that cash prize by the end of the league stage. And this is just kind of a prequel to what's to come for the grand finals next week. And the format is just brutal for the grand finals, right? You play 6 weeks of Free Fire only for all of it to come down to just 6 rounds. I mean, Ren's going to get the kill onto Ajim. That's a good start for Almighty.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to come down to, yes, they put in a lot of work, and it was a grueling, 12 play days, right? 6 weeks that you talked about. But, now it's going to be the big one, right? Get through today. Make sure that you guys are kind of, well rested, because you have a couple more weeks before that grand finals. We're going to look at all of the highlights that we've had in terms of like the past replays, everything. Understand where the teams are dropping. The maps are going to be pretty much the same, but the teams are going to be there. We're going to get a little bit of insights in terms of what these other teams are looking to do. What is the strategy? Has SAF just really saved strats? You know what I mean? Like, are they holding things back because they realize that they're going to be top 2 regardless of what they do? Or is it going to be more of the fact of, like, trying to figure out what the other teams can do and how they're preparing, how they're assaulting things, so that I'm prepared, at least my team going in?
And I think that is definitely going to really help these teams prep for that big day. I think one of the teams that has to go back to the drawing board, other than SAF, is definitely Almighty. I feel like Almighty is just... Yeah.
What was that?
I was about to say that Almighty has a lot to work on, just in terms of how they approach fights and how they strategize around their movements. The passiveness is really uncomfortable, just because we know how good these guys are, but they are not they're not expending on what they can do, and hence they get punished by teams who are just more willing to take the first step. Blacklist International is definitely one of those teams, and you can see Almighty, they get 1 kill, but they immediately get shut down by Blacklist. And then Almighty, they're just running away. They're not even attempting to retaliate in any way.
Mm-hmm. And I think that if you look at the standings, the overall one, right? 4X-Men Expert, Blacklist International, Almighty. These guys are within 6 points of one another. And there's a reason why these guys are next to each other. In the sense that what you just said, they're not very consistent. They're like hot and cold. They're kind of all over the place at times. And they don't really have that, that's coordination that the other top tier teams that have, right? Mechanically, they're fine, but it's just like, what do they need to do to bring up themselves up to that A game, to give themselves a chance? And we're seeing this throughout the league, is that there are definitely tiers of teams. They're stuck together. The overall standings, says this exactly.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference between Blacklist and Almighty is that Blacklist, they are more aggressive for sure, but they also tend to get themselves wiped out. They'll go in for a fight, and if it doesn't go well, then they kiss goodbye to the round. For Almighty, they are not a team that would just purposely start a fight. They're a more reactive team. And that could be problematic as well, because if you go up against a team like Blacklist or PXG or even Freedom Rumble, who have the tendency to run at you and just take you on, they can easily wipe you out, because I think Almighty, they are so passive that most of the times they are not even prepared for these kind of rushes.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, right? I feel like something is just completely off with them. But I mean, okay, well, let's talk a little bit more about 4X-Men Expert, right? Like, I feel like these guys are on point. I thought they were going to just take it over. They're a very strong Malaysian team. But 4X-Men Expert, there are some times where we really don't call their name other than to say that they're eliminated.
Yeah, and that has been kind of a theme for FFMC at least, right? Because we look at them, they are a new team. They qualified. No one knew what they were capable of. So even if FFMC, they did not have the best performance. I think by the end of the group stage, they were in 6th place. So not too bad. They halfway there in terms of the leaderboard. But they had a lot of moments where you just look at 4X-Men Expert and you just think to yourselves, are these guys for real? Can they really do it? So coming into a season 2 for the MCP Major, I think they really stepped up their game, which is why they're in top 8. Umbrella Reborn, on the other hand, they're going to be wiped out by Wheels. A couple of consolation points for the team. They're not going to make it too far ahead in terms of overtaking any teams. Maybe Bloody Hit because they have 2 more rounds. But other than that, I don't think they can make too much of a difference in terms of standings.
Yeah, not much they can do right there. And I do agree with your assessment there in the sense of just 4X-Men Expert. A team that has, we've seen glimpses of the amazingness of that team. But okay, Tactical Intex, probably the strongest team, I would say. I mean, they're a little bit above AKO Legend, who are a little bit inconsistent. We did talk a little bit about that. But Tactical Intex, what is it about these guys that is just, that make them one of the top dogs?
I think Tactical Intex, perhaps it's just their opportunistic nature, right? At this first half of the league, they definitely struggle a bit. But if you look at their numbers, they have decent kill points. In fact, they have more kill points than Fast Kill. They have more kill points than AKO Legends, 4X-Men Expert, Blacklist International, and Almighty. 217 is the number for Tactical Intex. So these guys can really frag out, and it is finally paying off for them. And in fact, they are probably the only new kid in the league that is in top 4. Fast Kill, all of these guys are veterans. Tactical Intex is a new face. They didn't even play in FFMC, and yet they're able to secure top 4 as of this round. So that is super impressive.
Okay, all right. So, all right, PXG right here against the Juggernaut that is, well, I mean, they are the Juggernaut going up against Zeth here, but they're looking to clean things up here. Monarch just running for his life, trying to dash by. It does get a nice knock onto Insanity. There's a lot that's there. Monarch just running in and out. He's so low, trying to use the building to his advantage. He's hiding in, and Insanity does get picked up. It looks like they're going to look to just, hey, you want to run away? Okay, I'll just pick up all my guys. But now Type 64 is flying on in, kind of like Superman, but he is getting shot. Does need to be a little bit careful here. He is getting slowly taken away. I believe it's the circle more than anything else, but Type 64, they haven't drawn a beat on him.
And Monarch, he did so much work, but he was not able to confirm any kills. So even if Type 64 comes in, PSG Radicals have ample time to bring everyone back on their feet and even heal up with those medkits. So we're back to square one. I mean, Zep Squad, they came super close, but perhaps this time it's going to be different. Monarch, he's being the decoy. He's just running around in circles, giving Type 64 some space. But PSG Radicals just had more members to work with, and they were able to, outlast Zep Squad.
Yeah, it's just the first circle, so just a minor amount of damage there. But PXG there, Tanamo was getting very low. I mean, they should all be picked up. I don't think anyone was killed through that more than anything else. It was just more of like a minor disturbance, I would say. But all right, fast kill here. It looks like they're going to be going up against Woos, who are on the high ground. Something they need to be a little bit careful about, especially since they're on the low ground. Yeah, Embalor makes him pay. He's got that trusty sniper, and he is on point. Embalor, just a god with the sniper rifle.
And Wills, another team that you can say has hot and cold moments. In fact, they have 5 Booyahs. So in terms of Booyahs, they are ranked number 5th, I believe, in the overall leaderboard. But you can see that the inconsistency really shines because sometimes they have really horrible rounds, sometimes they have amazing rounds. The kill score isn't the best either. In fact, they have the lowest kill score, the second lowest kill score in the top 12, just slightly ahead of Bloody Hits.
Yeah, and that's why they're on the 12th spot, right? Like, you know, kills are just so massive in this game, right? It adds to the consistency part. It adds just, you know, in terms of points, I would much rather have a bunch of killers on my team as opposed to people that are really good at hiding. I think that in a battle royale, you need to be able to put some, you know, some bullets in and hit those shots, so to speak, and it's going to really pay off in a league like this. So I guess as somebody new or somebody who's more casual to Free Fire, what do you say to this person to help them aim, like to get better mechanically?
Mechanically, I think it's just practice. I feel like practice is, I mean, it's very cliche, but practice more. There are a lot of, you know, guides and tutorials and of course content online that you can check out other players, you know, settings. I think that would definitely help as well. When it comes to mobile games, I love playing them, but I'm just not good at them, right? So, I mean, online, the internet is definitely your best friend. But I would say these guys, they practice, you know, many hours a day. That would definitely help.
Okay, all right. Well, you say you're not so great at mobile games, but I know you're a master in another game. But nonetheless, we're here now, and it looks like there's going to be 8 teams left, about 12 minutes. This is Kalahari at its finest, right? You have a lot of teams that are kind of surviving, looking for that mid to late game here. ITX, Tactical Intex, that is. They've got 3 kills, and it looks like they're trying to get a draw bead onto Barba from PXG. They're flying around, and they do know that they're coming in. They're wide out in the open, so PXG not in the greatest position here, but Tactical Intex just so much cover that they can't actually find PXG.
PXG, they're not in the shape to fight at all. They lost 2 guys while they were fighting against Zef Squad early on, so I don't think PXG is going to look for fights anytime soon. For X-Men Expert, they will do the exact opposite. They're picking bone with Wheels. There is one guy, Evos, from Cannot Brain nearby. He has a grenade launcher, so that is going to amp out his threat level, but let's see if he can really make something happen. I mean, PXG Radicals are not in the best spot with ITX just looming over the horizon, gatekeeping them, and also AKO Legend.
Oh, this circle is starting to enclose right now. There are 8 teams left, but they're just scattered. There's no room for all of these teams, and it looks like there's going to be a lot of action happening now. Barba starts it off with a nice little kill there. Seox is just looking to just get some shots in. Barba gets the triple of all things. Time Turner is going to be used by Seox. Throws out the glue walls. He's going to just kind of keep himself alive, at least for now. AKO Legend has now been eliminated 8.
Most of them died to the blue zone, and it's just unfortunate. They have to outrun the blue zone and also deal with PXG Radicals and Tactical Intex. That is just a tough task to overcome. But Niall from this watchtower sees for X-Men Expert, so he's keeping tabs on 3 different teams. He has a very important job to do, and he's been doing it well so far. Fastq NY also has to make their move into the safe zone, but they know that they have to get past PXG Radicals.
They do have the high ground. They know that PXG are within this vicinity. Hanma is just waiting for somebody to just peek their head out. Oh, Zipnu with a nice shot. Woo's been eliminated. Quad kill by Zipnu. Just tearing it up. Just drawing a beat on everybody. But PXG Radicals, they're going to just stick around here. This is the team to watch right now. Are they able to overcome the lead by SAF? SAF are like, just please, everybody just aim at PXG. Eliminate them now.
And it might be working out. I mean, PXG, they're trying to gun. They have a couple of kills under their belt, and they're getting decent placements because ITX are taking everyone else out. In fact, PSG Radicals, they have made it to top 4 of all things. So the chances of them overtaking SAF is definitely there. Barbara gets a good nade and a snipe, and ITX again down to just 2 guys. Zipnu himself with 6 kills, but because of what PSG did, now Forexman and Expert have a lot of room to work with. In fact, they're pushing onto that compound with nothing much for ITX to work with. They only have a watchtower and a couple of blue walls. Those nades might just be the undoing.
Oh gosh, Zipnu just completely stuck in. Yes, he's got 6 kills to his name, but he's completely turned this one off. Fast Kill Malaysia's been eliminated fourth. 3 teams left. PXG is one of them. ITX, he's stuck inside. There's just glue walls galore. The blue circle is starting to enclose, and that means the end is nigh. It's coming right now. 4X-Men expert Spade is looking to just sweep around, try to get into the circle, using the glue walls for cover. Are they able to survive this one?
I mean, PSG might be able to do this, right? Maru's already taken out the 3rd member of ITX. Barbara's gonna swing the corner. Tanamo does get a kill. Tactical Index is out. 4X-Men expert, they get the booyah for themselves, but PSG Radicals stayed alive longer than anyone should have let them. They get 2nd place. 4X-Men expert, though, will at least put another booyah under their belt. This is the 4th for this team in the entire league stage, and this will cement them in that 6th spot at least.
All right, now it looks like one of the players is showing a picture of his girlfriend or his mom. I'm not sure. I don't know why that's relevant here. But nonetheless, we're going to have it. And really well played by 4X-Men Expert. We talked about a little bit of inconsistency. Hey, that's consistency right there. In terms of getting the booyah, getting all those kills, that's what you really needed to have done. 4X-Men Expert proven to be very strong right there. But let us invite the hosts back in. Let's break this all down. Danny, Icy Baby, 1-2, come on back.
Well, the dream is alive here for PXG. I think at this rate, would you guys say that they already surpassed that 13-point difference?
I think so. I think they have.
I think so too.
That's 9 points for placements, and they got a fair amount of kills. So they're only 13 points behind SAF. So I think they've done it.
Yeah, I think so too. But we gotta wait for the official scores a little bit here. But as of now, let's talk a little bit more on what exactly happened here. Like, that final zone was kind of crazy because it was a fight between Fast Kill, ITX, PXG to try and get some points here to actually solidify as well. Especially with both Fast Kill MY as well as Tactical Index, they want to get those number 3 spots. Both teams were just holding on as long as they can. But eventually, the ones that denied all of these teams here with those booyah points is going to be none other than 4X-Men Expert. And I'm not going to lie, they are one of the biggest spoilers because they are pretty much almost solidified their spot in 6th place. But at the same time, they just want to, further push themselves even more, which I don't think is realistically possible for them to catch up like 30 points to catch up with AKO Legends. So I don't know, it just feels sad. But at the same time, Tactical Index has one of the lowest amount of booyahs and in the top 5. So I don't know. It seems like, is it possible? What do you think, Danny?
I don't know. I mean, you got one more game to go, and to get 30 points, you would have to. Yeah, I think it's impossible. I think I'm trying to math in my brain. Don't let me do it on purpose on stream, okay? But I'm just gonna say right now, I don't think it's physically possible, right, Hauler, the math guy? Hey, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think that. I don't know if it's possible. I mean, you still have one more game. The thing is that yes, you can get like 20 plus points, 30 points in a game. But the thing is that the other teams are getting placement points as well. So that's the problem. So it's one thing to to have a monster game and everything else like that, but you don't control every other team and where they're going to be. Right? Unless you eliminate them early, but that comes down to kind of luck in terms of where they drop and all that. Sometimes you want to avoid those fights, something that you need to take note of. But I think in terms of what we've seen some crazy amount of action that was going on with this one. We're going to just break down this highlights. Icy Baby, you want to just kind of walk us through these ones?
Yeah, in the initial fights, I was a little bit suspicious with the decisions being made on teams here. We did see a lot of especially yesterday's game, earlier games from Kalahari, everyone was trying to sneak past towards vantage points or even get a favorable positions. But what was crazy was that we did see a lot of teams that they completely ignored their positionings for the next phase circle and chose to just head on, take on the fight. I wouldn't say this is a better approach, but it's more of a sense where the reason why they're doing this is more to like, hey, if we take out this team, at least when we rotate the circle, we don't need to be afraid of their backs getting shot. which is very unfortunate because you are going to be using up so much of your utilities, but when you need them the most, you are going to be very lacking.
Yeah, I think another reasoning is also because like these guys know that they are in top 12 guaranteed. No one is at risk of elimination. This allows them to play slightly more free, I guess. So they just let loose and go ham. But you point out something really good. I did not see much teams playing that vantage point.
Yeah, and as of yet here, the scores are pretty much up here. 4X-Men, they've got themselves 22 points, which is great. And speak of the devil, PXG Radicals, they get themselves 17 points. That means we have a new king.
I wonder if you'd be hitting yourself with your SAF. Because technically they only lost $200.
Yeah, it's not that much, right? At the end of the day, but I think that this is a huge, boost of confidence for PXG Radicals. I mean, if you were on PXG Radicals and you have one more match, do you just like AFK this last game? What do you do? Just the ultimate disrespect, right, to SAF? Just say, hey, we're kings. We don't even need this match.
Actually, very interesting point about the whole disrespect thing. I think it was PXG Radicals who did this tea time with. I don't know if it ever came out on the episode, but for some reason we asked them like, what's it feel like to take out one of your homies, the Filipino teams, and they were just like, oh yeah, we love killing each other. I just sat there with my mouth open. I was like, what? Okay.
They needed to have said with the Free Fire context, because just saying that by itself just seems like a whole nother issue that we don't want to talk about.
But I found it very, very interesting, right? Because you would think like a normal team would like try and lift up their own country, but the PXG Radicals, they're their own monster. They just want to win, which is nice. I mean, we're already seeing the team doing so well up until this point, and they're just taking no one for prisoners. So it just makes you wonder, how strong are they going to be going into the final stage? Because we're seeing them consistently rank high, grabbing so many kills. If anything, are they a prime contender to actually take the entire tournament?
Definitely so. But I'm going to be that party pooper. I think that, the grand finals, that's going to be a huge difference. Just because there's only 6 rounds, right? You have a bad day, that's it.
Boo, Husky, come on, boo. But, speaking of the party pooper, it's okay. If you guys are enjoying yourselves here, here's a party surprise for you guys. That is going to be the code giveaways up on screen right now. It's going to be gone before it's, in the nick of time. So be sure to claim it before it's gone. It is only valid to the end of the stream. Redeem it right now before it's gone. And now, coming into this final match coming up, I don't know. It feels like there's nothing much to talk about besides maybe FastQMY Tactical Index trying to fight and solidify the 3rd and 4th placings. AKO Legend also maybe kind of stuck in a very, very rough spot. 4X-Men Expert, with that whopping 20 plus points, it is very possible for them to actually take down the number 5th spot. So aside from the middle of the pack, I don't think there's much to talk about, I guess, Danny?
It's money. I would say it's all in the money now, because some of the teams they can still gain an extra $200, even $400 if they do really well. Remember, we had those other matchups, but again, it's going to depend on how they do on their final map, which is going to be Purgatory. Now, Hola, I know you wanted to say something. Here's your time to shine. I'm going to throw it over to you and Husky for this matchup.
Thank you, Danily, and of course, Icy Baby 1-2 for incorrectly calling PXG's Radicals rise to the top. No one saw this king come there. Claim it. Respect the name. PXG Radicals are going to be your number 1 team going into the grand finals. That's coming up. But we're going to go into match 6. We're going to end with a bang. This one's going to be Purgatory A versus C. This is the last matchup of MCP League Season 2. And we're going to go into this one right now. Which of the teams do you think, Husky, do we need to look out for in this final match?
I think for 3rd and 4th place, them ITX and FastQ MY, and also 7th and 8th, Blacklist International and Almighty. These 4 teams are in close contention. I mean, FastQ MY are about 5 points behind Tactical Intex, and Almighty, they are 6 points behind Blacklist International. So these guys have been neighbors for quite a while. In fact, I mean, props to Tactical Intex. Right now, as of round number 5, they overtook FastQ MY to take the 3rd spot. That is not just extra money, but it's also a testament to how good these new kids on the block are.
Yeah, Tactical Intex, they've impressed me. I mean, I like Tactical Intex. I liked Argon Malaysia. I think that these are two teams on the rise. They've found a winning strategy that's just kind of taken over this league, and they've just risen to the top, so to speak. They've done very, very well. Now, I think that they have the edge against Fast Kill Malaysia? We're going to have to find out, as there's only a 5-point differential there. But, Tactical Intex already starting strong. They're getting some shots in on the woos, and they're looking to just continue this lead.
And yeah, everyone is spread out, but Tactical Intex, they already got 2 knocks, and that is going to give them so much advantage. I mean, Alforte, he's not even near his team. Wills are not in the best positions to fight, and all these early knockdowns is definitely going to cost them the round for sure. ITX, they can feel super comfortable right now. I mean, Wills, they don't have much to work with.
Yeah. And these warehouses are yes, it's a decent, they're huge buildings, but there's just so much open area to deal with. Embelor is just running for his life, realizing that he's outnumbered. He's just slowly getting nicked, and looks like, Tactical Intex have just been on the prowl, just hunting everybody down, trying to find Embelor. And Embelor is like, okay, I just need to run out, just save my life, try to stay alive at this point.
Yeah. I think if you tell me that Tactical Intex is going to be 3rd in terms of overall frags, I would call you bluff. For sure, but now it actually happened, right? Tactical Intex, they have the 3rd most frag, 224, and if you add those 2 in, it's going to be 226. And the second closest is AKO Legend and Forestman Expert with 187, followed by 186 by Fastkill and Blacklist International. So these guys, they are monstrous in terms of those gunfights, even though they don't have much placement points compared to those teams that we just compared them to. The fact that they're winning gunfights is a huge advantage.
Yeah, getting those kills is just massive. But you talked about Blacklist International. This was a team that was in the running, top 3, right? We saw them, they were 2nd place. We're like, oh, this team is on fire. They've done so well, but man, how the mighty fallen. They're 7th place at the moment. They might even drop into 8th with Almighty on their heels right now. What exactly happened to Blacklist?
I think it's just Blacklist. Ever since MCP Season 1, I think probably there's some changes in how they want to approach the game. But I think it's also because other teams started to figure out how to deal with Blacklist. Back when they were known as Baby Argon, they were the most aggressive team. They will literally run at you during the double vector meta. They run at you, they win the fights, and there's nothing you can do about it. Cobra was a superstar, and obviously the meta shifted over time. We come into FFMC, they get picked up by Blacklist International. They finish FFMC group stage in 5th place, and they finish the grand finals in 4th. And ever since then, I think it hasn't been going too well because they are still taking those aggressive fights, but they're not winning it as much.
So is it more luck-based, or because it makes it seem like, yes, they're mechanically sound, or is like completely, like as you said, with the double vector meta, but it seems like things are not really clicking with them. They're not, they're not winning the 50-50, so to speak.
I think it's also most teams just figuring out how to properly use utilities more, and just prioritizing those more often, right? And there are a lot more long-range combat instead of just double vectors and shotguns like we see right now between XBR and Almighty. We're seeing a lot of snipings from long range as well. Cannot Brain does get knocked out as Almighty gets 3 points for themselves. But yeah, back to the point that back to what you were asking. It's just teams are starting to know how to rotate more. They're using more utilities to flush out compounds, and they're just a lot more long-range fights with rifles instead of just relying on double vectors to win fights. And I think that also forced Blacklist International to play passive and reactive in certain situations that gave other teams chances to take them on without having to worry about getting wiped out.
Okay. But it seems like they're slow to change to the meta, so to speak. Their playstyle is really not fitting into what we need in terms of what you just said, in terms of the rifles and the long-range battles that we need. But, this is, MCP Season 2, right? Chances are we're going to see Blacklist International in Season 3, if there is one, and just moving forward, right? So this is a team that needs to grow. They need to get better. They need to figure things out. They need to learn how to use a sniper rifle. You have to adjust. You need to understand what the meta is all about and to continue to grow as a team, not just as a player, because you need to get better. You need to figure something out, something that will work as you move forward.
Yeah. And not to take anything away from Blacklist, I still think they are an amazing team. It's just that they probably peaked at MCP Season 1, and ever since then, the growth has been stunted ever so slightly. I mean, they are still a really good contender, right? They've made it to top 3, and at least now they're still in top 8. But you can see that Blacklist International are having a lot of hot and cold days where sometimes they get massive rounds, sometimes they just straight up lose a 4v4. That is something that they have to work on over time. But I believe that they will still be a force to be reckoned with, just that not as threatening as they used to be.
Okay. I agree with that assessment. It's going to be interesting seeing that team move forward, especially in the grand finals, how they can react, how they can change up. And there's going to be a little bit of time, right? We've done literally 6 weekends in a row. So, you know what I mean? Like, players really haven't had time to kind of just settle down, take a break, figure out what's wrong, and then look to fix those things. But as I say that, Almighty right now, in a duel with PXG, when you see 4 members running at you, like, part of me is scared as well. Like, a part of me dies because I realize that I can't deal with all of these PXG members here.
Yeah, neither can Almighty. I mean, they lost Batman and Jay-Z. AKO Legend is nearby. I think they heard the commotion. Ren does go for a point blank challenge. They actually down straight Meow, but Barbara immediately gets the exchange back. So I think Almighty are going to be wiped out. At least Ren will be wiped out. AKO Legend, now is still time to kind of try and pincer PXG while they were not aware. Good nade from Tanamo once more. In fact, he throws in a double and gets a twofer right away. You can see AKO Legends, they are turning heads and they don't want to fight against PXG anymore.
Decos is running at them, and he saw 2 of his members dies, and he's like, nah, I'm out of here. This is like, that grenade was amazing by Tanamo right there, and just completely turned the fight. They thought they were the predator. In fact, that they are the prey now as they're running for their life. PXGs are hot on their tail. Na's been left behind. He's going to look to just cover, and it looks like it's going to be a 1 versus 4. Not going to happen. Nah, not going to happen. You see what I did there?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, right, sorry, dad jokes. I'm done for the day.
It's okay. It's okay. We can do with some every once in a while. I mean, it's such a sight to behold. I mean, AKO Legends, like you mentioned, right? They were running at PXG, and then 2 guys died. They turned heads, and PXG started running at them uphill. I mean, thankfully for AKO Legend, they are still in the game, but that ended is 10 times worse than they would have wanted it to. I mean, Almighty Shira is going to be spotted out by Forex-Man Expert. Almighty is going to be knocked out as Jabat will land a killing blow.
Yeah, Almighty been eliminated there, 10th place. Shiro is just all by himself. He had his frying pan. He was probably going to cook an egg, but unfortunately no team will give him that space, so to speak. But 4X here, Spade, high ground, love it. Jabat as well, very close by. They're going to just kind of camp around here, realize that, hey, there's a lot of time left in this, in the map. The circle hasn't fully enclosed. This is just the first one, so we have plenty of time to figure things out. But PXG, I mean, this is a team that, yes, they could have, I mean, they're up 4 points. They're going to be guaranteed first place, but they're continuing to just be aggressive. They're looking to take fights. PXG Radicals, like, my gosh, even when you're first place, you just continue to put the pedal down to the metal.
And I just love what PXG Radicals is doing, right? Like you pointed out at the start of the day, it doesn't matter what round it is, what time it is, they will give it their all. And Hyun, well, just I mean, this is why we don't jaywalk. It runs straight into the driveway that Umbrella Reborn made for themselves, and he's gonna be knocked. The rest of FSK are gonna be instantly gunned down, and Shark he is also out. What a way!
You gotta look both
round.
ways before crossing, right? That's on him.
That's on him.
All right, nonetheless, Umbrella Reborn throwing iPans here, just throwing some grenades, trying to just keep himself alive. Glue walls galore. He's been stuck in, but grenades being thrown in as well. Goku, he's been stuck in. Spade ends up knocking iPans, and he'll just look to clean that one up. Goku's looking for others as he's going around, but he can't actually find the entrance. There we go. He found iPans. Is he able to secure the kill? There's just so much on, and then Umbrella Reborn gets eliminated 8.
And Blacklist comes from behind. Cobra wipes them out. So the backstab worked out for Blacklist International. So far, these guys have 7 kills to their name, and we are down to just 6 teams in the blink of an eye. We lost half of the lobby.
This is what's going to happen with Purgatory. Just a little bit of a smaller map, so the action's going to be a little bit faster at times. But we're going to still kind of go in black. I mean, this is a monster game by Cobra, right? And the fact that, Blacklist International is 7th, they do technically have a chance of going up against 4X-Men Expert and taking that 6th position. You definitely want that extra $200. Definitely possibility there. So we're going to have to see this one come out. But they've only got 2 members, which is a little worrying for me.
By the way, Cobra has 16 glue walls. This guy he can build the Great Wall of Purgatory with that. There's so much utilities to use. ITX still has the entire team alive. I mean, PSG Radicals, I believe they also have the entire squad up and running. So these 2 teams are going to be probably the last 2 survivors if all things go well. I mean, it's just the second circle. I mean, the third one is going to form pretty soon. Less than 12 minutes in, we're down to just 6 teams, and most of these teams are severely crippled. Right? We don't even have a full 6 teams.
Yeah. ITX is the closest one. I mean, they've got the full squad here. They're definitely in pretty good position here. But it's going to be Woos, Blacklist International, PXG. They're full as well. But Tactical Intex are going to go straight ham against PXG. And it looks like they're going to go for that fight there. Woos is going to keep it easy, or take it easy, so to speak, all the way in the corner. But Tanamo going in, throws out the grenades, throws out the glue walls, just going to wrap around. Time Turner's going to be used. He's going to look to just go for this one, but the glue walls have been used all throughout. Insanity just driving along, trying to get it, but Barba with a nice grenade shot.
What a madman, man. Insanity, he actually, I think, ran over one of the guys from ITX. Didn't kill him, but it was able to cause some chaos. Those utilities, grenade launchers were enough to completely shatter the battle lines of ITX. Zipnu is the last guy. He's running away, not even into the circle because PSG Radicals were hot on his tails. So PSG Radicals becomes the only team with the full squad alive, heading into what looks to be potentially the final phase of this game.
They're just... I mean, they're kind of all over the place. Like PXG, they just come on you like a swarm of hornets, right? They just get onto you, and it's very quick in terms of what they do. There's no indecision. Everybody's just go, go, go. Let's go and kill everybody, and they just clean it out. And the thing is that I don't know if they're lucky or mechanically skilled or what, but when you have 4 players left on your team at this stage, when you've had so many of those fights, I think that this is just a testament to the team in the sense of just how skilled these guys are.
And it's definitely going to be a very strong statement going into the grand finals. I mean, PSG Radicals have already they've already done the impossible by overtaking SAF, and now they just want to solidify themselves with a couple more kills. I mean, Tanamo is going to run into a building, into the shotgun barrel of Alforte, but that's all she wrote for Wheels. They are going to be knocked out. PSG Radicals, they lost 1 guy, but they got themselves 11 kills so far.
I mean, Tanamo, yes, he got killed there, but I mean, when PXG are there just to kind of clean up, you know that you have your buddy just kind of, protecting your back. Whereas if I was Tanamo and I was rushing in and I got killed, my teammates would be on the other side of the map. They'd be like, hey, why'd you go in?
And it's one of those games, right, where you feel really confident, you go in, you accidentally die, and instead of, feeling bad, you're just like, oh, haha, I messed up. It's okay.
Yes.
It's definitely pretty good, 3 guys left alive. There's ITX, there's Z Squad, there's AKO Legend, and Blacklist International, but all these guys have lesser member than PSG Radicals. In fact, I think PSG Radicals are in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, not the worst. I mean, Black Internationals, I mean, considering they have 2 players, excuse me, they're the only ones that could really compete with PXG, I think, at this point, considering they have 3 players to deal with. But they're going to have to use Zeth and, sorry, I forgot the other team that was there to kind of just create a little distraction. Oh, it's Zipnu. So Tactical Intex. Those are the 4 teams, or 5 teams, excuse me, still left alive. And it looks like they're going to go. Zeth is looking to go in. Blade, that is. But can he outduel Zipnu? Cannot, as Zipnu takes that kill.
And he has to bolt for the circle, and he has to cross the freeway as well. One of the most dangerous spots on any map is crossing a freeway. They might not be cars, but people are aiming at you with their guns. Good nade from Cobra as Barba pulls out that grenade launcher. They will both trade 1 for 1. Cobra with a grenade, bouncing it off. Hits Insanity, and he should be able to finish him off. But a good glue wall from Insanity's teammates, I think, from PSG Radicals, blocking off that area.
Don't think it matters too much though. It comes down to Barba against Cobra. And it can only be one. It's 4 teams left. All these 4 teams is a 1v1 showdown. Barba running away from Cobra, and this is where Cobra thrives in close quarter combats. He has that SMG to work with, but Barba is not going to make it easy. He's going to get some time to recuperate as ITX and AKO Legend are on the two opposite ends.
Oh, Cobra and Barba in this duel to the death, so to speak. Barba's getting shot at. He's about half life. Zipnu's just like, do I go in? What do I do? I'm trying to draw a beat on somebody. Can't really find anybody. But this circle is going to become an issue. It's starting to enclose. He might actually have to move out of the fences and try to get to it. But Cobra with 7 kills does see Deco's just running around in the open. He's trying to get some shot in. Nice grenade. Glue wall's going to be used at least to cover his tracks for now.
Yeah, Cobra's gonna go for the push immediately. The grenade launcher from Deco's going wide. Deco's doesn't reload in time, doesn't switch his weapons in time. He's gonna lose his life down to a 3-way fight. And Cobra from long range destroys Barba. And Cobra, the wonder child of Blacklist International, this is his domain. And Zipnu, he's living in it. And sees Cobra running towards the high ground. Cobra is gonna drop that glue wall. He has a lot to work with. 16 more glue walls to slowly protect himself. In fact, look at this guy. He is just running up the high ground to get that vantage point, and now he has the upper hand against it.
I mean, Cobra has just completely turned this game on its head. He's just completely dominated with 9 kills. This is a performance, that... I mean, we expected this out of Cobra, but just a little bit more of these, in the fact that we did not expect it in the last game of the league when, they're kind of already locked into their position, but Cobra just completely turning it off, destroying everybody, just outplaying everybody in one-on-one duels, and it's up to Zipnu and Cobra for the final kill of the league.
And Zipnu, he has no glue wall, so he has to outrun this, but man, it's hard to go uphill against the blue zone. Cobra is gonna peek his head up, but he's not taking any chances. Zipnu actually sees his legs, but he's not taking the shot just yet. Cobra now goes for the swing, but it's not gonna get the kill. Drops the glue wall once more. 7 more to work with, and Zipnu is gonna play that healing game, but it's not gonna be easy. I mean, that blue zone is making life super hard. They still have a bit more time to work with, but Cobra gonna use his last nade. That one goes wide, so there's still a very intense Wild West showdown, but it is time to see who is the eventual victors. Cobra has the high ground, but Zipnu has the vision. Cobra still running circles around him. Zipnu desperately trying to get the kill, and he finally gets him. He kills off this pesky Cobra, and ITX closes out the group stage with a booyah.
That seemed like a big mistake by Cobra there. I mean, it was a one-on-one duel. It doesn't really matter at this stage. But the fact that, he had, 13 more glue walls left, I felt like he could have been placing more, Cobra that is, and just kind of covering his tracks as he's running through. And it was very interesting to see that Zipnu actually stole the glue walls from him, went to the other side, tactical index, prevailing in this one. But I felt like this was a lost battle for Blacklist International. They had a chance. They should have taken it out, but unfortunately, that is not the case here in Tactical Intex. Your season finale in terms of Booyah's Match 6 win.
Yeah, and I totally agree. I felt like Cobra should have had that, right? I mean, Blacklist International. Cobra outplayed everyone, and then even himself. I think that was that's kind of the feels bad moment. But either way, Tactical Intex they're gonna close out the league with 5 total booyahs, and they have cemented themselves in 3rd place, overtaking Fastkill Malaysia. More money for them by the end of the group stage. These guys have qualified for the grand finals regardless. Something to look forward to, and I also look forward to what our hosts have to say as we will invite back both Danily and Icy Baby 12 for the final time on this broadcast. Welcome back.
What an interesting game to watch here. To see almost half the lobby get eliminated by the second circle. You can see that a lot of teams just kind of gave on up. They know that the points are pretty much secured there, especially when playing towards playoffs. But what I did not expect was a 4-way 1v1v1 showdown, which showed you Cobra had the individual skills to actually back it up. Unfortunately, I definitely agree. I'm not exactly sure what was going through his mind. He had more glue walls to actually do a little bit more instead, but unfortunately the mountain terrace was just too steep for him to actually outmaneuver the guys from Tactical Intex.
I do have to agree. Actually, I was watching it and I was thinking like, is it too steep to actually aim? Because you could see like there's a limit to how high it can go.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just it's strange.
Halfway, I thought that they were
actually.
gunning for the pinnacle, right? Whoever plants their flag on Mount Purgatory is gonna win or something. Happen. It was definitely funny.
Sorry, Danny, you were saying? Oh, anyways, wait. Okay, so speaking of that fight, it was really funny because like you have to give credit towards Tactical Index because he was all by himself. He waited for the right opportunity. He wasn't getting enough kills. But what really messed him up was that, you know, he realized that he did not have enough glue walls. And secretly enough, he was able to sneak behind Cobra and actually outflank him. And I was really surprised that Cobra didn't exactly, you know, force a couple of glue walls to block it. It might be at the terrain blocks here and there. But overall, in general, Cobra played it really insane 1v1. He was able to take down PXG Radicals. I was hoping for a potential PXG Radicals finish, you know, to say that, hey, the Kings are back or something like that. But I don't know, Cobra, I definitely agree. Like, where was this guy in the previous weeks? Because we seen that in previous seasons. They were one of the strongest contenders coming to MCP, and now they're in this final match. For him to actually step up, is this like a sign that they're actually saving up strats, or is this a sign that, hey, we're keeping it low key? Finals is like the true objectives. The $15,000 is what we're looking for. We don't want people to be paying attention to us. Watch out for us. Maybe that's a statement coming from Blacklist International. Sorry.
It's okay. I don't think they're saving strats. My point of view so far from watching Blacklist is that it really just feels like the meta isn't in their favor. The meta that we saw Blacklist dominate in was when close quarter combat was pretty much the only way to go, and that's where Cobra thrives. He is such a good 1v1 player. The moment you put him and his team in a situation where they need to contest long range, you can see that seems to be a weakness in Blacklist's overall play. They're not so good when it comes to going head to head with teams in longer distance combat.
And I think it comes back to just, you know, Free Fire and other FPS shooters, the team-based ones, right? Where you might be mechanically sound, you might be able to get all the kills, you might be able to click the heads, you might be able to do that all on your own. But now when you're going up against a team of 4, and then you have your own teammates, it's like, how do I get in? How do I coordinate? How do we, you know, who says go? What's going on? Like, you know, left, right, center, like how we flank them. There's so many different things, different elements, right? And that's where the practice can kind of come in. I think that as you guys all said, you know, in terms of Blacklist International, Cobra's ability to duel, we saw that at the end. The guy is mechanically sound. 1v1, he can take you out all day. I would take him in a 1v1 tournament if there was a one that was possible. But Free Fire is not like that. It's a team-based game. You're going to have to play and stick as a team. And unfortunately, Blacklist International, yeah, they have some kinks. Yeah, they have some mechanically sound players. But can they actually win the grand finals? Can they get that 15,000 USD?
That's the toughest question. I mean, the grand finals always feels like a coin flip simply because it all comes down to just 6 rounds, right? You have one bad round and that's it. And
6 rounds, and I think a factor we need to talk about with that as well is flight paths. Like, no one knows what the flight paths are going to be before the match begins. So one team might favor a certain flight path, but then all of a sudden, what if it goes the opposite direction and it's a path that they are very unfavorable with? So it's RNG is also a factor here.
Yeah, that's the beauty of playing Battle Royale, right? Like, Free Fire is so unpredictable. You don't exactly know when the zone is going to be happening. You know, you can only do so much when it comes to teamwork. So trusting your teammates and trusting you've got someone getting your back or got your back is going to be very important. Unless it comes down to a situation where we have like the remaining 6 teams and everyone is going to be a 1v1 person alive, then probably we wouldn't call it a team game. We'll call it a solo tournament straight up from that stage of the game, if it actually happens in the finals.
I'd love to see that. I would love to see one of the rounds in the grand finals where it just comes out to the epic 1v1, or we get a water circle. Everyone has to fight on water. That would be great as well. We've seen that. I don't think we've seen much of that in MCP season 2. You know, surprisingly enough, the RNG did not favor any water fight, and it's only possible in Purgatory.
I think last season we had a lot of water finishes, and at first I was thinking, is this normal? Now that I look back on it, it seems like it isn't normal because we didn't really get too many of those water finishes, did we?
No.
All right, so we've made it. The group stage is over. Our 12 teams are set. Now, for people at home that are wondering, when is the final stage? The final stage is going to be held on the 16th of October, 1 p.m. Okay, that is the grand final where our top 12 teams will go head-to-head in 6 grueling matches. That $15,000 prize pool for first place. Now, I know it's a bit early, guys. I hate to do this, but I kind of like doing it too.
Ooh.
Who are you going to be rooting for the grand finals?
Oh, that's pretty
tough.
tough. That's actually pretty tough. Like,
I
I'm not gonna
was-
lie. Like currently, you know, the odds seem stacked against the Philippine teams, but at the same time, you know, they are the top 2 as of yet, with PXG Radicals and Supreme Assault Forces representing Philippines. It feels like it's gonna be Malaysia versus Philippines, but at the same time, do we have enough time to think about our country when there's only so little matches?
Okay, so I will give one for each nation, right? For Philippines, I think PXG Radicals. I'll take that. For Malaysia, I would take Tactical Intex. I think these 2 teams are going to be the teams to watch.
Interesting.
I was torn between, you know, should I go for, like, I have 3 for Malaysia, right? ITX, FastQ, and 4X Men. Surprisingly, Blacklist isn't on my list, but I think, judging from what we've seen so far, Tactical Intex is just overall better than these guys, than the other Malaysian teams, even though they came online later into the group stage.
Surprised on the 4X-Men pick, but okay. Holo?
I'm going to go, I agree, which is weird, with Husky in the sense of PXG Radicals. I think they've proven to be the strongest team. The second team I'm going to go with, again, is just Tactical Intex. I think that he's on point with those. I think that team is on the rise. But my underdog story, and I'm going to ride this until this league is done, Argon Malaysia. I love this team. I love the way they play. I want to see more of them. And I think that they can do this. I think they have a chip on their shoulder, the fact that they're 9th place going into this grand finals. Hey, we got a clean slate, grand finals. Let's go, Argon Malaysia. This is the team to watch out for.
Well, for me, I think the 2 teams that I'm going to be supporting, I think is going to be Supreme Assault Forces for sure. I don't know. I'm just going to stick it with it here. I'm just going to go against with casters. And I definitely agree. You know, that's for the Philippines. You know, whoa. But yeah, one thing I do agree from Holler is that I kind of want to see more from Argon MY as well. Like, I'm just keeping my money on Argon a little bit here. They have been very low key, but we have seen them shown signs that they actually can keep up with the top teams. It's just that something might have messed up. It might be the league stages. It might be a little bit interference here and there. But I feel like based on that performance from Koba, I feel like they still got it. It's just that whether or not are they lucky enough or anything in this regards, because the finals, it can be extremely unpredictable.
Yeah, and I think the biggest factor that's going to affect the results, right? Even though I picked PXG and Tactical Intex, and I think they have a great chance, but these 2 teams showed up really late into the league stage, so they are more of a marathon runner. The finals is a sprint. So if the teams who are naturally explosive like SAF, FastQ, and Blacklist really have a good game, or even Argon MY, I think these guys might just win the grand finals. It really comes down to what they bring, right? The teams have such a distinct personality. Like PXG, Tactical Intex, maybe 4X Man Expert, these guys, they run marathons. But can they sprint as fast as SAF or FastQ in the grand finals? I think that's the biggest question.
Alright, so before we conclude the stream, let's just take a look at the round standings for our final match for today, which was match 6 for A versus C. And as you can see, PXG Radicals, even though they ended up placing 3rd, they managed to finish on top with 20 points, followed by Blacklist International with their 19 points, and then Tactical Intex, yes, they got the booyah, but they only got 17 points because, unfortunately, they trailed behind with 5 kills. So, I know you guys are cheering for PXG Radicals, but I guess, should we count out Blacklist International? Probably not, because everything's reset going into the grand finals, and the teams have 2 weeks to prep, which... Do you guys feel the fact that there's going to be a 2-week gap before these teams meet each other again, is that going to maybe impact their form going into the grand finals?
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with what you say. But as of now, I like that you point out the fact that it can be very, very unpredictable. When it comes to, hey, you're jumping into betweens, it could be this team, this could be team's team. And because there's just 4 of us, it's so hard to make a concise decision. Who is going to be number 1? We agree PSG Radicals is number 1 now, but anything can happen in these next 2 weeks. So I don't know. They might have needed a rest here, considering that it has been a long league thus far. Every single week has been training. With these 2 weeks, hopefully they will be able to gather some nerves and make a little bit more preparations into the grand finals. But as of now, these are your overall standings. Ladies and gentlemen, PXG Radicals officially now your kings of the MCP League Majors Season 2.
Look at those kill points. 282 kill points over Supreme Assault Force's 263.
Yeah.
That is a sign itself.
I think a lot of people have no idea how hard it is to overtake SAF in terms of frags and placement points. So PSG Radicals, I mean, one more point they will break the 600 point record, but nonetheless they've already set a new high for the major league stage. The highest we got in season 1 was 500 by Baby Argon, but right now 599 is the new score to beat for next season, if there is a next season.
Yeah, just goes to show how skewed
What a crazy tournament.
Don't make it sound so sad, Husky. We're definitely gonna have a next season, bro.
Okay, let me rephrase myself. 599 is the new score to beat next season.
Okay, fair enough.
Got it. Do you think anyone will be able to beat that? I feel like this is uncharted territories. I think just the way PXG Radicals just kind of turned it up and just got better and better and better, scoring 60 to 70 point in a single day. I don't think any team is going to get to the same level of PXG.
Hey, you're asking for it to happen. As soon as someone doubts it, it just happens. But it also depends going into next season, right? Are we going to have another team that sort of catapults their way into the league like SAF, but maintains it? Because we did see that SAF, they did peter out towards the end of the race. So what if we have a team that performs like that, just hogs all the points, hogs all the placement points on top of that as well, and then just leaves scraps for the rest of the competition? There's a possibility that we one day have a season where a team is just so dominating.
Yep.
The same thing happened in season 1 as well, right? We had a team that was in first place almost the entirety of the league, and I think towards the tail end they lost that first place. It happened right now as well with PSG Radicals and SAF, but at least for this season it was way closer than season 1. I think season 1 there was just a huge gap that no one could close.
Well, as of yet, that is pretty much the results thus far, and we have pretty much solidified the top 12 team thus far. But the bottom 5 team, unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to Metrics, Freedom Rumble, Zeph Squad, Umbrella Reborn, as well as Cannot Explain, because they will be eliminated out of MCP Season 2. There will be winners, but I know you guys want more Free Fire games for those guys watching at home. But I'm gonna say you guys gotta sit this out and probably wait out for the finals, because the top 12 team is gonna give you an explosive round for then. You've heard the predictions from the casters, and it's what do you guys think at home? Who do you guys think is gonna be the number 1 team by the end of MCP Season 2 in the finals? I'm a bit curious as well. There's just so many shouts here coming from us, and for these guys watching at home as well, you can also claim this code right now below. Danny, what do you think? Is this gonna be a pretty good one?
I mean, the finals are always good. I don't know why you're asking me that question.
Finals is going to be amazing, right? I mean, winners of the grand finals, not winners, I mean top 4 of the grand finals, you seed yourself in for the season 3 major. That itself is already, a great achievement. So a lot of these players, this is their second chance, right? They finally got a chance to play in the grand finals. Some of these guys, they did not make it in season 1, and then under a different banner, they made it in season 2. Some of these guys barely made it in season 1. Now this is opportunity number 2 for them to kind of make a difference. Wills being the first one that comes into mind, SAF as well. So let's see what they have to bring in the grand finals. I'm super excited.
And I'm looking forward to the fact that, hey, there's no free points anymore, right? Every one of these guys are big dogs. Everyone who is going to be the alpha, we're going to have to find out. Only the top 12 teams. Yes, some of the teams kind of limped into the grand final, so to speak, but they made it their way in. I mean, just based on the past play, right? So that's one of those things where they're in the moment because of it. They earned it technically, and they're in because of that. But we're going to find out if they can continue on with that. Maybe we're going to see some of the risers. Just are they able to pick? Just kind of figure out what's wrong. Have they gone from lovers from previously they were killers, right? But this is a team that seems to be in disarray. That team really needs to step it up with second place going into this one. They're going to have a lot to think about moving forward. But all of these teams, I feel like almost everyone has an opportunity to win the grand finals. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Well, there you have it, Holler. Amazing speculation thus far, and anything can happen in the finals, and hopefully, representing from the Philippines, Supreme Assault Forces and PXG Radicals at the top, alongside with Bloody, Hit, as well as Wheels. And also Almighty, can they actually stack up their odds? Because it feels like a pretty Malaysian stacked team towards the finals. But I don't know. I'm hoping to support a Malaysian team for sure. But seeing how SAF as well as PXG Radicals play, I don't know. I feel like they've got the better stats. Just that the odds, it's so hard to predict. I can't make a decision, guys. I really can't. I just really can't.
I thought you already made your prediction. What are you talking about?
I don't know. Like I that's the thing. Like I said like, oh, this is gonna be teams, but when it comes to the finals, it's just unpredictable.
Okay, just stick with it, because clearly.
I'm
just
indecisive.
Stick with your predictions. You are very indecisive. Yeah. All right. Any final words before we close out the stream?
Waiting for the grand finals. PXG, ITX, my top 2 picks of one from each nation. So I want to see what they have to bring to the table.
Argon Malaysia, here we go.
I got Malaysia. All right, that's going to be it for us, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week of MCP Majors. Now, we are going to be coming back on the 16th of October. That is 2 weeks from now. So there's no MCP Majors next week, but that's okay. Make sure you're prepped 2 weeks from now, because we're going to have a fantastic grand finals. Thank you so much for sticking it out with us, and we'll see you for the grand finals.
Tonight We were born for this fight. We'll be glorious tonight. We are champions. We'll be warriors tonight. And like warriors we'll fight.
The one that they ask about. Money team better come with your racks out. Stadium packed out, crowd going crazy. Queen of this hair, I ain't leaving my chair. Money green high heels, I make them shiver. Post up, post off, and I deliver. I'm gold, you glitter, they old and bitter. I'ma fight for it. Take it to the next level, ride like a bike pedal. Hotter than a kettle on fire. Stand back and admire. Winning this game and I'm taking the empire. Time to start the show, ready now, fire. Revolution, I'm here with the solution. Top contender, I'm the one they keep choosing. If it ain't me, I'ma need you to tell me who then. Fiction time, kick them out and I'm a moving. Who want it? You want it, let's get it. Come with the ambush, now they saying forget it. Start at the beginning, you'll be done in like a minute. I don't have no limit, all I know is winning.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you. I've been here before, I have felt this. This eternal war, I was dealt this. A true rebel in arms, I put pebble to palm and dig deep.